is Friday, June 20th. It is the first day of summer, and Ainsley McPhail is going to tell us all about National People's Day, which is Indigenous Peoples Day, which is happening tomorrow. There's an event that is happening. It's called Hey Cousin, so she's going to tell us what that's all about. But first, your headlines. Amid scorched earth and broken trees, signs of hope are starting to emerge. We head back to Wendigo Road to see how residents are pushing forward one step at a time. Flin Flon is preparing to welcome its residents back nearly a month after wildfires forced a mass evacuation. We bring you the timeline for the return and what awaits them. And you're about to see a rare blue-eyed ground dove chick. Experts are raising these tiny birds to help save a species on the brink. Well, Terry, today is the first day of summer. We're gonna have all kinds of summer fun today. It's a full theme, everything from what kind of wines to sip, books to read, and so much fun. So stay with us for that throughout the morning. And the summer solstice is happening later this evening.
That's right, yeah. So, I mean, I guess technically that would make today the last day of spring, but summer does arrive later on today. And then, yes, kicking off the season in style. We're going to get a little bit of a jump start on it. Mother Nature has actually given us a bit of a jump start on it with the heat that she's going to be sending our way today. 15 degrees is where we begin, which is slightly above seasonal, 12 degrees a normal low. The winds are light out of the east, 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 90%. The heat that we're going to feel today, though, you're going to notice it for sure. Warmer than it's been over the past couple of days, although yesterday got warmer than we expected. Up to 27 degrees, I think, is where we topped out. There were some storms. You can see there's still some activity showing up on the satellite image, mostly in areas just to the north of us, although there's a little bit traveling to the south as well. We're really seeing some of that storm shield effect in Winnipeg once again, where precipitation approaches and then seems to just kind of split off. Anyway, we're not likely to see much of that this morning. Central Manitoba and pushing a little bit further east. Mix of sun and cloud expected today, and then there is the possibility that some showers and thunderstorms are going to be moving into the evening time. You can see through more of central Manitoba. You'll be getting some of that off to east central Manitoba. Another bit that's going to be moving through Saturday into Sunday. For us here, it's just a chance of some showers overnight, and again, a chance of a thunderstorm for tomorrow. More likely that we're going to be seeing that rain on Sunday with some slightly cooler temperatures to come with it.
Thank you, Terry. The province is beginning to decommission most congregate shelters in Winnipeg, which temporarily housed wildfire evacuees.
Been able to find hotels for evacuees, and in Winnipeg, no one is staying at the congregate shelter any longer.
Infrastructure Minister Lisa Naylor says Leela Soccer Complex will remain operational in the event more communities are evacuated. She adds there's still a congregate shelter in Thompson, which is housing around 114 people. 14 communities are still under evacuation orders, and officials say plans are underway to start sending even more people home. But there are a few things that need to happen first.
This includes ensuring that medical staff are able to return to the community, that hydro is up and running, that law enforcement has been able to be reestablished, and that schools are cleaned and ready to receive students. Beyond that, grocery stores need to be restocked and gas stations need to be opened. Water treatment plants need to be up and running, and EMS and fire need to be reestablished in the community.
The number of active wildfires remains unchanged at 21, with 7 burning out of control. Officials caution they are expecting lightning strikes to spark more in the near future. Glimmers of hope are emerging among the ash and rubble in the Lac du Bonnet area for the first time in a month. Our cameras return to the hard-hit Wendigo Road area to see firsthand the cleanup underway following a deadly wildfire. CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows us what's changed in the weeks since the fire.
We thought it would have melted. I did lose my wedding rings, but they found that ring. That was really significant.
Erin Sleva Banville and her husband lost nearly everything in the devastating May wildfire. So when a volunteer cleanup crew found a ring in the rubble of their home, she said it was a miracle. But even more than that, the team's hard work made all the difference.
You can see what they did. It was a tremendous savior to us.
Christian Aid Ministries Canada showed up for the couple and their neighbors without even being asked. The nonprofit organization has 4 rapid response teams across the country, pressed into service where they are needed.
It's a very small thing we could do to help them on to the next step, you know, and give some hope and encouragement in their life.
And help the Wendigo Road residents they did. This was the scene back in May, just after the fire ripped through the community. And here it is this week. As Brad Wood says, the rapid response team cleared away hundreds of pounds of scrap.
It's been an insurmountable task, and the gratitude by the community is just unbelievable for what they've done.
Wood says they expected more help from the RM of Lac du Bonnet, and on top of losing everything, felt neglected before the ministry stepped in.
I felt that we were left out by this, and we were just very fortunate for the ministry's help.
Lauren Schinkel, Reeve for the RM of Lac du Bonnet, said the RM is applying for money for recovery. The RM has hired a contractor to remove hundreds of burnt trees, but it will all take time.
There's all of these moving parts here, and we just ask for some patience, too, from the residents.
He said insurance companies advised the RM to take a step back in the immediate remediation based on secondary health risks that may need special care.
This was purely an environmental issue where there was information received from the insurance companies who have specialists that need to deal with this type of a remediation.
Sleva Banville said now it feels like they are a community again.
The neighbors have really rallied, and we've all kind of come together, and it will be a new beginning for everybody.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Lac du Bonnet.
Residents say they are waiting on insurance claims, permits to rebuild, and more trees to be cleared. They say hydro is restored, but crews are still working in the area. Residents of Flin Flon could start returning home next week as officials there prepare to lift a mandatory evacuation order. Deputy Mayor Alison Dallas-Funk says the city plans to lift the order on Wednesday, June 25th, almost 1 month to the day that its 5,000 residents were forced out by a massive wildfire. She says most critical services and businesses, including power, gas, and limited health care, will be ready to go starting Sunday. Further north, the town of Lynn Lake says its 600 residents who fled a little more than a month ago could start coming home today. Nova Scotia is offering up to $150,000 for information about 2 young children who vanished almost 7 weeks ago. 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing on May 2nd. The RCMP says it has interviewed over 50 people, received almost 500 tips, and conducted polygraph tests in the hunt for clues. Canada will adjust its U.S. steel and aluminum counter tariffs on July 21st. Whether they go up or down depends on progress of trade talks.
We're going to adjust them to levels consistent with the progress that's made at that point on the broader trading arrangements with the United States.
July 21st also happens to be the end of that 30-day trade deal window Canada and the U.S. agreed to at this week's G7 summit. Right now, Canada has a 25% tariff in place for U.S. steel and aluminum. Our producers currently face a 50% tariff from the U.S. In another move aimed at stabilizing the industry, Ottawa is planning to impose a steel import limit on countries without a trade deal with Canada. Going over that limit will lead to higher tariffs. You are about to see one of the rarest birds in the world. This tiny baby chick is a blue-eyed ground dove. Only 11 adults are known to survive in the wild. And now experts from the U.S., Brazil, and the UK have hatched a group of chicks in captivity. Once these young birds reach maturity, they will move to the next stage of their conservation program. Here's a look now what's happening at Confusion Corner. It looks like things are starting off really well over here for this Friday morning. Nothing to tell you about at this point. If you see any problems out there, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live this morning telling us all about Indigenous Peoples Day, which is of course happening tomorrow. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Hey Cousin is the name of the event. We're outside the Broadway Neighborhood Center, 9 a.m. to noon today. Free breakfast. All are welcome, and tons of agencies, including Manitoba Moon Voices, who is putting this event on. We're going to be talking with Shelley at 6:37. Manitoba Moon Voices supports women and girls and Two-Spirit people in the Indigenous community. They have a 12-week course that allows people to connect back to their culture. And I want to talk, too, about some of the other agencies who are going to be here chatting with us as well, including the Women's Health Clinic, Bear Clan patrols on site, Salvation Army, and people who are trying to elevate the arts, culture, and music. There's going to be live performances, too. Not sure about on our show, but if you come by the event, you can see and hear them.
Sounds like fun. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Terry, summer treats aren't just for us. Some furry friends want to dine in style too. Check this out. What a lucky little guy. This hamster is getting a home-cooked meal of spaghetti, tomatoes, and peas to top it all off. Looks like he's loving every bite of it, too. Look at that.
Your 4 sticks of spaghetti. Here you are.
He looks like he's enjoying that little stick there that he slurps up very quickly.
Little, as Director Kim pointed out, yes. And it could take him all day to eat that little piece of spaghetti.
So sweet.
It goes in quick, but then he just ducks it back in the cheeks there.
How's it feeling outside today?
Pleasant. It's a beautiful start to your morning. There are some dark and ominous looking clouds hanging over me, though. I can see the sun, but it's got one of those big dark clouds kind of mostly in front of it, just a bit of a glow from behind it. It kind of looks cool out here. Doesn't feel that cool though. We're seeing temperatures, or feeling temperatures, pardon me, well above seasonal. 17 degrees right now. Thank you for that update, Joan. In our graphics department, we've got east-southeast winds, 4 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 83%. And yeah, sunshine throughout the day today. It's going to be pretty nice, or at least a mix of sun and cloud. We'll take it. Now, we will probably start to see some precipitation in some parts of the province. I mean, these dark-looking clouds, and we've been watching on the satellite image that in areas just to the north of us, there's showers and thunderstorms passing through. And over the course of the weekend, we could be seeing more of that. There's a chance that we might even see some here in Winnipeg, although less likely than other parts of the province. But a possibility of some showers or thunderstorms overnight and again tomorrow, but a better chance yet of that precipitation rolling through Sunday with a bit of a cool down as that happens. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more on CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Good morning. Coming up to 6:15. Concerns over rogue artists in South Winnipeg are brewing. Bois des Esprits in South Winnipeg is known for its intricate tree carvings scattered throughout the forest. But some residents are worried the art is getting out of control.
There's reason to be concerned if people are coming in and just carving up trees that they shouldn't be.
Many of these carvings were the handiwork of late artist Murray Watson, who had been carving wood spirits into dead trees all over the forest since 2009. Royal Wood Neighborhood Association board member Corey Crooks says while Watson always used dead trees as his canvas, new carvings are being cut into live trees, impacting the forest's health.
While it's beautiful, it's starting to impact the safety of walking through the forest. So there's a lot of trees that are dying right next to the path that are a danger to people walking by.
The city requires written permission and no new carvings approved in Bois d'Esprit. Area Councillor Brian Mays is calling for a report into all tree carvings on public property. A W5 investigation is revealing what could be a much bigger payday for car thieves. Not just the stolen cars, but bogus insurance claims. And as John Woodward reports, it's driving up drivers' premiums.
This Ferrari was insured as $1 million car, a top-end 599 GTO. At least that's what the owner claimed it was.
But that's not what it is.
That's not what it is.
Enter Stefan Nasner, an investigator with Aviva Insurance's fraud unit. And slowly, that car's image falls apart. The dashboard in disrepair. The display lights up with a different model number. And under the hood, the engine bears the mark of a different Ferrari.
You can clearly see this is a 599 GTB.
Not GTO.
Not GTO. Okay. And a GTB is a lot less valuable than a GTO.
Disguised, Nasner believes, as part of an elaborate insurance fraud. And this isn't the first time he's seen this car. Aviva has already paid out a claim on this Ferrari once before.
So you guys could have lost twice.
We could have lost twice. And had we paid out on what it was registered for, it would have been over $1 million.
Over $1 million of money that would have gone to possibly organized criminals.
Correct.
An audacious example of how car thieves attempt to turn the value of one stolen car into many insurance payouts, multiplying the value of what they stole. Key to this disguise is spoofing the unique vehicle identification number, or VIN, on the car. In this case, the thieves appear to have lifted the fake vehicle identification number from this real Ferrari GTO on sale across the border in Detroit. A number that, according to its Carfax service records, also appears on cars serviced in Montana and Texas, suggesting there are many more disguised vehicles using this VIN.
It's being serviced all over the place. How does that make sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because a vehicle can't be in multiple places at once. If it is, it's probably a scam. And those vehicle identification numbers are fakes. Tracking those VINs is now a huge part of Aviva's fraud detection program, says Mike Cardillo, Aviva's manager of national investigations.
So we're talking millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
VIN fraud up 300% in the last few years, according to his numbers. Selling stolen cars locally has become more important for thieves, he says, as a government crackdown has made it harder to sell them overseas.
There we go.
One major challenge, somehow many fake numbers are legitimately registered with provincial government agencies anyway.
We need to make sure that we're doing our due diligence when a vehicle is being registered, close those loopholes in the ministry to make sure that some of these false VINs aren't being registered.
Solving that problem, a crucial part of stopping that VIN from disguising yet another stolen car, though most aren't as flashy as this Ferrari.
At least one person is dead and at least 3 others are injured after a rock slide at Banff National Park. It happened around 1 p.m. Thursday at Bow Glacier Falls. That's about 2 hours west of Calgary and about 37 kilometers north of Lake Louise. The rock slide lasted for at least a minute as it tumbled towards Bow Lake. Banff National Park remains open, though Bow Lake is closed to all visitors. Parks Canada and the RCMP say their search for survivors will resume at first light and that anyone missing a loved one should call Parks Canada's Banff dispatch. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved a new HIV prevention shot. Drug maker Gilead Sciences announced lenacapavir, a twice-a-year injection to treat HIV, can now be used to prevent infections from happening. In clinical trials, the drug reduced the risk of HIV infection by 96%. It will be distributed under the brand name Yes2Go. The company adds, based on insurance coverage in the U.S., it could take up to 2 months for someone to get their first injections. There's a push now to include a new sport in the 2032 Brisbane Summer Olympics. Advocates are pushing for trail running to join the Olympics. The first step is creating new measurements to bring consistency and accuracy to the sport. Researchers and runners are using GPS and trails around Brisbane to gather thousands of measurements. The goal is to use those to set standards for trails at different lengths and terrain that can be used around the world. The Brisbane Organizing Committee should be making an announcement about new sports in the next few months. Here's a look now what's happening at Portage at Polo Park. So far, it looks like things are pretty smooth at this point in the morning. If you see any problems out on the streets, please let us know.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
And looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye, Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Just a few of those darker clouds still lingering, but brighter patches where the sun is doing its best to shine through, and we'll be seeing both a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day today. But these temperatures, they're going to be feeling pretty warm, and already we're well above seasonal. 17 degrees is where we begin, 12 a normal low temperature, and it's not just here in Winnipeg. Most of southern Manitoba is at least a couple to a few degrees above the seasonal 12. We've got Melita right at 12 degrees along with Swan River, but most places are a little bit warmer than that already. And then there's northern Manitoba, where most places are in the double digits, as you can see, the exception being Churchill, coming in at 5. Now, again, through parts of northern Manitoba, mix of sun and cloud. There is some very active weather in more of the central part of the province. Just a little bit north of Winnipeg, you can see all of the lightning bolts firing off through there. And that's just one of the things that they're kind of warning of, lightning bolts on these dry conditions. It could be a little bit treacherous for that fire situation, but we do need the precipitation, so we will continue to welcome that. Not likely to see much of it here in Winnipeg today, though. 17 degrees up to 26 by the time kids are coming home from school today, and that's not even our warmest temperature expected. 28 is probably where we're going to be topping out, with a chance of showers or thunderstorms overnight, and still that chance lingers tomorrow. But another round of rain more likely Sunday with some cooler temps. An incredible capture of this pelican in flight light out in Lockport. Thank you, Irvin, for this photo. And keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live School Day Forecast is brought to you by Rainbow Stage, your season to sing.
Good morning. If you're planning on booking a flight this summer, you can use a travel agent, do it yourself through the airline, or use a third-party website. You may be able to find better deals depending on how you book your ticket, but you may find the discount isn't worth it if there's a mistake. CTV's Pat Foran explains.
Just to change the M at the end of my name, I'll have to pay.
Audrey Hamilton and her husband of Curtis planned a dream vacation to Ghana, and in February were online looking for tickets. They entered their phone number in a website, and not long after, someone gave them a call.
A 188 call that they're selling tickets to go somewhere, and they notice I've been searching for tickets, and they will help me.
The caller told Hamilton he could get her 2 tickets round trip from Toronto to Ghana for just over $2,700. She agreed, gave her information, and bought the tickets, but when she checked them, there was a typo in her last name.
At the end of my name, he put an M instead of an N. So immediately when we saw that, we emailed him, texted him, he never responded.
Hamilton booked through a third-party website called ASAP Tickets. She said after a month of trying to correct her name to Hamilton instead of Hamilton, she was told she could be issued new tickets, but was shocked at how much she would have to pay.
It's going to cost me $2,000 plus. And when I said that, he said that, I said, that's going to be double pain.
The tickets were for United Airlines, but the company told CTV News the customer will need to work directly with the third-party booking agency to make changes to their tickets. When CTV News reached out to ASAP Tickets, a spokesperson said, "We will not be providing statements to the media regarding this matter."
It's a painful and hard lesson to learn.
TECO, Ontario's travel regulator, offers protection for travel services within Ontario. It says be cautious using third-party websites and realize that TECO-registered travel services offer more safeguards in case there's a problem.
The benefit of using a travel agent or travel advisor is there's a requirement that the documentation is correct at the time the booking is made.
Hamilton feels the typo was not her fault and in the end had to cancel the trip as she didn't want to pay $2,000 to fix the mistake.
I'm just having a lot of anxiety and not knowing what to really do. I think it's unfair. It's devastating.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Ainsley McPhail is telling us all about an event that's happening today. It's called Hey Cousin. Stay with us for more details.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
There's a look outside. Still a few of those extra clouds lingering over us. 17 degrees. It's a warm start to your morning with east-southeast winds 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. Humidity sitting at 83%. Yeah, well above seasonal to be starting out at 17 degrees. 12 a normal low temperature. But along with the heat comes the turbulence. There you can see the active weather showing up on the satellite image right now in areas just to the north of us. A little more that's developing through central Manitoba and a little bit more even just to the south of us. Winnipeg is not seeing anything at this time, but the possibility is certainly there. More so, though, a mix of sun and cloud. I think these storms will be moving out of the way. 28 degrees is what we're looking at for a high temperature today. So, yeah, we'll be feeling that heat well above seasonal. 24, that would be normal for this time of year. And today's winds out of the south. Now, tonight, chance of showers, maybe some thunderstorms rolling through as these winds shift out of the northeast and we drop down to 16 degrees. So that keeps us well above seasonal, even with the overnight temperatures. And then for tomorrow, 27 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. There is still the possibility of some showers or thunderstorms passing through, but it's just a possibility. Northeast winds getting a little bit stronger yet, up to 30 kilometers per hour, and a better chance yet of getting the rain on Sunday as we're wrapping up the weekend with slightly cooler temperatures. And from there, the cooler temps will linger for at least a couple of days, but it won't be long before the heat gets cranked up again, and we'll be feeling that through the middle and end of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg police hope you can help identify a suspect in an armed robbery. It happened Monday morning at a convenience store in the 400 block of Mountain Avenue. Police have released these security camera images of the suspect. Officers say he was armed, but no shots were fired and no one was hurt. The suspect was wearing a black Under Armour hoodie, a light-colored baseball cap, a camouflage face mask. He was also carrying a Swiss gear backpack. If you have information that could help investigators, call the Major Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers. Meanwhile, police have a 27-year-old woman in custody after a gas station robbery on Salter Street Wednesday. Police say an employee was pepper sprayed. The staff member was able to provide a description to police, who made an arrest early Thursday. And a man is recovering from injuries after being stabbed multiple times in the Weston area. It happened Tuesday night on Keewatin Street. Police say an argument escalated between two men and one of the men was stabbed. Officers on scene provided first aid to the man until paramedics got there. He was taken to hospital in unstable condition. A 31-year-old man now faces assault and weapons charges. Have you looked at your latest water bill? Chances are it's higher than usual. The City of Winnipeg has raised its rates for water and sewer services, and some homeowners say the hikes are making it harder to stay afloat. CTV's Jeff Keel explains why your water bill is rising.
Bernie Lemansky rarely waters his grass, and when he does, there's not much of a yard anyway. He lives here with his brother, and their water usage is low.
The only thing you do is the dishwasher, washer and dryer, and a shower.
So it was sticker shock when he opened his quarterly water bill from the City of Winnipeg.
I was just flabbergasted, in shock. I couldn't believe it.
Last quarter, he paid $157. This quarter, the bill is $269.
Give me a break. What are they thinking?
Other homeowners are flooding Facebook with comments too, many asking the same question as Lemansky.
I'd like to know why they increased it that high.
It is catching people off guard. I guess they missed the discussion and debate we had on it.
In March, City Council approved new sewer and water rate hikes to help fund the $3 billion North Sewage Treatment Plant. And there is a new levy. A $23 per quarter fee was eliminated, but replaced with a higher $63 per quarter waste management fee to pay for services like garbage, recycling, green carts, yard waste, and damaged carts. It's a new utility model to take the heat off property tax bills.
For the waste management, we looked at here's what the cost is. We have contractors who deliver, pick up and collect your garbage, and there's all kinds of costs related to it.
And things could have been worse. The mayor and council rejected a proposal to jack water and sewer rates by $1,000 a year for a family of four. Still, Bernie Lemansky says the approved rates and fees are tough to swallow.
A lot of single parents, and they're on their own, and they're living on a fixed income, and they can't afford this kind of increase.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Canada Post says it's reached a collective agreement with its second largest union. The deal comes after 18 months of negotiations with the Canadian Postmasters and Assistants Association. This agreement covers about 8,500 workers who mostly manage post offices in rural Canada. It includes an 11% wage increase over 3 years, retroactive to the start of 2024. Canada Post is still trying to reach a deal with the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, which represents 55,000 workers. The CUPW remains in a legal strike position with all members on an overtime ban since May 23rd. Canada's Competition Bureau wants to see the airline industry open up. A report is calling for Ottawa to bring in changes to boost competition. This includes allowing foreign-owned airlines to fly domestic routes. Other recommendations include allow smaller airports to offer international flights and expanding airports in the north. The report makes no recommendations on those extra fees charged by airlines. 45 years ago, Terry Fox headed out on his Marathon of Hope, and on Thursday, a ride to commemorate the run arrived here in Winnipeg. A group of riders made their way to Assiniboine Park. The Terry Fox National Ride of Hope is led by Daryl Fox, Terry's youngest brother. The cyclists are riding 7,000 kilometers from Vancouver to St. John's to commemorate Terry's run and to raise money for cancer research. Fox says it hasn't always been easy dealing with the weather conditions and illness.
But every morning we wake up and we think of Terry Fox. I certainly do. And I think of those that have been touched by cancer and those that we have lost. And, you know, riding a bike 220K is easy compared to that.
The ride kicked off on June 9th and has so far raised more than $844,000 toward its $1 million goal. The Winnipeg ride officially takes place Saturday. Manitobans have been dealing with an early and brutal start to wildfire season, and across the country we've seen a number of extreme weather events over the past year. Some of these moments have been captured in a new survey about our perceptions of extreme weather. CTV's John Hendricks shows you what the poll found.
Based on this picture, you might think it's winter in Minnedosa, but it's actually just evidence of a hailstorm that rocked the community Wednesday evening.
The larger hails that were hitting the car, I was just arriving home, and it sounded loud. I looked for a tree to park under.
Ray Ballone says he's used to weather events like this in his community, and he's not alone. A new survey from Leger finds that nearly 1 in 4 Canadians has experienced extreme weather. 85% of Manitobans saying wildfires have become more frequent over the past 5 years.
Wildfires unquestionably are dominating what's on people's mind, and then the air quality that sort of comes with that.
Digging into the numbers, the survey found 64% of Manitobans believe Canada has seen more wide temperature variations within the same season. However, few believe we have been inundated with more tornadoes, floods, and landslides than normal. Environment Canada says it doesn't have enough data on whether there's been an increase in extreme weather events, but they are getting more reports of extreme weather events.
Everyone has a smartphone with a camera on it nowadays, and it's very easy to capture a photo or video. Whereas, 20, 30 years ago, this was not the case.
Ray Ballone is philosophical about his recent brush with the weather.
It happens, and everybody's got hail insurance for their roof like anywhere, I suppose.
John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
When it comes to concerns about climate change, the survey found 59% of Canadians are concerned about it. However, those numbers have dropped from 67% 2 years ago. Leger's poll surveyed 1,529 Canadians between June 13th and 15th. It was conducted online and can't be assigned a margin of error. Here's a look now what's happening on the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are moving really well to start off this Friday morning. No issues to tell you about. If you do see any problems out on the streets, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.39, while both the provincial and Winnipeg averages sit at $1.33. The lowest price in the city is $1.19. You can find all this information on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Out on the rooftop now, it's Friday and it's the first, a little later today. That's when the summer solstice kicks in at 9:45, but it certainly feels like summer out there already, Terry.
Yeah, it really does. Do you have plans for your first weekend of summer?
Well, tonight my girlfriend and I are going dancing at the Cube.
Ooh,
yes.
That sounds exciting.
The Jazz Festival apparently is on and she wants to dance, so we're gonna
be a hot night for it. Yeah, absolutely.
A good time. How about you? What
Make
are you
sure you
up to?
stay hydrated. I've got some company coming in this weekend. I'm very excited about. I was hoping for some patio time. We'll see if Mother Nature comes through. We're getting the heat. We might also get some storms. So depending on when those storms hit, just be mindful of that. We were seeing some very dark clouds over us right now, although Winnipeg hasn't really seen too much in the way of activity. And that's been the case over the past couple of days. There's been a lot of showers and thunderstorms happening, patchy activity around southern and central Manitoba, and Winnipeg really hasn't seen much of that, whether that's the storm shield in effect once again or what's going on. And once again, that could be the case. We're sitting right now at 17 degrees, an above seasonal start to the day, and we will continue to watch those temperatures rise throughout the day. A little bit of a breeze out of the east this morning. That'll be shifting into the afternoon, but staying on the lighter side for the most part. But yeah, soaring temperatures for our first, I guess it's technically the last day of spring because the solstice doesn't really arrive until this evening time, and then tomorrow will be the first official full day of summer. But whether it's the last day of spring or the kickoff of summer, we're going to be feeling the heat both days. 28 degrees today puts us several above seasonal, and similar temperatures still expected tomorrow. That possibility of showers or thunderstorms is there, but a better chance that we're going to get some rain on Sunday with some cooler temps to go with it. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail telling us all about an event that's happening today. It's called Hey Cousin. Good morning, Ainsley.
Rochelle, I was just asking Shelly Anderson of Manitoba Moon Voices to tell us a little bit about that name because, well, it is awesome. The name of the event, it's going to fill up here throughout the morning between 9 and noon. Good morning, Shelly. So explain for our audience.
Yeah, so this is our 4th annual Hey Cousin event to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. And yeah, like you said, it's going to start filling up. We're going to start serving a free breakfast of bannock sandwiches at 9:45 and having Indigenous performers all throughout the morning.
Where did the name come from? How did you guys come up with it?
I believe it was Louise, who is one of our elders at the Women's Health Clinic, and she's always like, "Hey, cousin."
We saw her last year. She was hollering that. It was awesome. When it comes to what you've added this year, a lot more artistic components.
Yep. So I know last year we had some Indigenous comedians, so we switched it up this year, and we really wanted to include all of our relatives, or all of our Indigenous relatives. So we have our Indigenous hoop dancers that will be coming, and then any throat singers and some Métis fiddlers and dancers. Yeah.
Manitoba Moon Voices, something very special about it. The only in Manitoba that is female-led. So tell us about why that's important and what you guys do.
Yeah, so being one of the only Indigenous women-led organizations in Manitoba, we're also the PTMA for the Native Women's Association of Canada, and so we want to support all of our relatives in Manitoba, not just Winnipeg. We're largely in Manitoba. Lots of people just focus on Winnipeg, but we want to focus in all the areas of Manitoba: Thompson, the Pas, and Brandon.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we got to represent Manitoba strong with our Indigenous Peoples Day happening tomorrow. This is a fantastic preview. Hey Cousin kicks off at 9 a.m.
Looking at the early markets, futures are pointing slightly lower to wrap up the week. Dow futures are down 70 points. NASDAQ futures are off by 44 points, rather. S&P futures have slipped about 11 points. The Canadian dollar is seeing a slight increase this morning. Overseas, the Hang Seng is on the rise, up 292 points, while Japan's Nikkei is down 85. Good morning. It is 6:47. The school year is winding down, but before it does, educational support workers in the Winnipeg School Division could go on strike. Manitoba Government and General Employees Union members in the division voted in favor of a strike mandate earlier this week. The support workers' last contract expired in July. At issue is classroom violence, fewer resources, and wages, which the union says aren't keeping up with other divisions or with the cost of living. A strike date hasn't been set. During the short period of time we were there, CTV News observed a number of vehicles rolling right through stop signs. May's motion says residents are raising concerns over speeding on Des Marins and are asking for more stop signs as there's a school, playground, and pool nearby. The study would look at speed compliance, safety risks, and the impact of more stop signs. The motion goes before Council on Wednesday. UK, French, and German foreign ministers are meeting with their Iranian counterpart in Geneva today.
We should wait and see. Situation is not good, everybody knows. But at the same time, all should do something. So we should wait and see. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you.
Iran's ambassador to Germany has commented on those talks this morning as he left for Geneva. Those ministers will meet with Abbas Araghchi. He was Iran's chief negotiator during talks with the UN Security Council and Germany that eventually led to the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. U.S. President Donald Trump withdrew from that agreement in 2018. The deadly conflict has been ongoing for a week now, with neither Iran nor Israel showing any signs of backing down. Both sides exchanged attacks overnight.
I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks."
And as you heard from the White House press secretary, U.S. President Donald Trump hasn't decided on whether his country will get involved in the ongoing Iran-Israel war. CBS is reporting President Trump has approved the plan to attack Iran, but he hasn't decided yet whether that plan will be activated. He's also reportedly considering an attack on an Iranian underground uranium enrichment facility, but only if it's guaranteed their bunker-busting bombs are able to do the job. This is how most people would react if bees moved into their home.
It was very scary. When I saw a swarm of bees in the sky coming toward me, I never ran so fast in my life.
Daryl Murphy says he first noticed a few bees a few weeks ago. Then he started to hear a lot of humming. Then the bees got so bad, they chased Daryl and a contractor away from the home repairs they were doing. He's hired a company to remove the hive and move it somewhere else. Here's a look now at what's going on in the Norwood Bridge. Things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about. It's a beautiful start to your Friday morning. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know.
You got to wonder how long the bees have been there, though, because squatters have rights. All right, 17 degrees right now with winds on the lighter side out of the east-southeast. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 83%. And you can still see some of those bigger clouds hanging around nearby. Also hanging around nearby within those clouds, not necessarily in Winnipeg, but in areas just to the north, to the south of us as well. And pushing further to the east, you can see the showers and the thunderstorms. So a lot of activity surrounding Winnipeg, maybe just not hitting right at home. Northern Manitoba might also see a bit of precipitation in the most northeastern part of the province. Churchill, Gillam, the chance for you for some showers, maybe some thunderstorms. Temperatures, they're going to be pretty mild today from the, well, low 12 degrees in Churchill, a little bit cooler there, but for the most part, high teens and low to mid 20s, and most of northern Manitoba will be experiencing clear conditions, sunshine today with those low to mid 20 temperatures expected. Further into the south, yes, there will be a mix of sun and cloud, but also that potential for the storm activity that we've been seeing off and on. So many places, especially these places surrounding us, do have that chance of showers, maybe some thunderstorms, but the heat will certainly be felt today. We're expecting to be up in the mid to even high 20s here in southeastern Manitoba. And further east of us, it's also going to be a warm day, but possibly a stormy one with those showers or thunderstorms lingering. That chance still continues overnight and even for tomorrow, but a better chance that the precipitation will come with some cooler temperatures. That'll be happening on Sunday as we're wrapping up what will start out as a very hot weekend. And once it wraps with the cooler temperatures, they will linger for a couple of days, but it won't be long before that heat gets cranked up all over again.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go now to Bo at Bounce 99.9. Good morning, Bo. Happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday, Rochelle, and a big Friday tonight. It's Bounce Night at the Gold Eyes, so we're going to have some fun. 80s music. We're giving away these special Rubik's Cubes. I hate them. I could never solve them, and I still can't. We're going to have some other fun and prizes. They're going to show the movie E.T. after the game, if you want to stick around on the big screen. And about that time, summer will be arriving officially at 9:42 tonight, and got me to thinking, gosh, you know, when you're a kid, summer seems like it's going to go on forever. I think time went slower back then. Do you have any summer plans yet? Is it too early, or do you have any trips planned or anything exciting?
We do. We are going to Blue Lakes in Manitoba in the Duck Mountains. We're going there, and we're staying at the Blue Lakes Resort with Archie and Dawn again, and the kids love it. The beach is lovely. It's a beautiful part of our province, and we go every year, so we're going again. Looking forward to it. How about you, Bo?
That sounds great. I've never been there. I got to check that out. You know, I'm sort of waiting for the plans of my grandkids. I know one of my boys and his family are going to Australia, so I see some dog sitting coming up. So I got to wait and see what they're doing, and then I'll make my plans. But I know one thing, Rochelle. I have no weddings to go to this summer. I'm quite happy about that.
Oh, nice. I have one wedding, and I'm looking forward to that as well. It's going to be a blast.
Well, have a great weekend. Enjoy the first day of summer.
You too, Bo. Thank you. A very strange thing happens to a cat named Zlatko when he hears the piano. Here's ABC's Danny New.
There are an estimated 600 million cats on this planet. But it's hard to imagine any of them loving the piano as much as Zlatko does.
Maybe it's very strange, but this is his style.
If the name Zlatko didn't give it away. His parents, Mariana and Dimcho, live in Croatia and are both professional pianists. In the last 6 months, Zlatko has become quite famous online for appearing nearly comatose when he hears mom and dad play. On this video with millions of views, one commenter writes, quote, "How can I achieve this life?" But Zlatko's journey to piano paradise started with a loving deed. A few years ago, Mariana and Dimcho were on a run together when they discovered Zlatko's mother on the side of the road.
Yes, she was so small and fragile.
They rescued her, and about a year later, she gave birth. So how many cats do they have now?
In total, there are 10 cats.
You have 10 cats?
Yes.
But only one of those kittens took an interest in mommy and daddy's profession. However, for the record, they say he does have a very specific taste. Apparently, he prefers the works of composers like Chopin and Tchaikovsky. But how did he appear to feel when he heard a piece by Mozart?
Nothing special, but just one piece returned.
Okay, Mozart, nothing special. Apparently, though, the Cheers theme song does belong in the special category for our dear Zlatko. So they told me that Zlatko has not heard any other instruments, so I gave it a whirl. Tried playing a little banjo for Zlatko, little guitar for Zlatko. Then I tried my kazoo that's shaped like a trombone. And then I asked if Zlatko liked it, and Mariana said, quote, "Don't like." Did my best. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Summer treats aren't just for us. Some furry friends want to dine in style too. Check this out. What a lucky little guy. This hamster is getting a home-cooked meal of spaghetti, tomatoes, and peas to top it all off. Looks like he's loving every bite. Look at him, little hands. You're about to see one of the rarest birds in the world. This tiny baby chick is a blue-eyed ground dove. Only 11 adults are known to survive in the wild, and now experts from the U.S., Brazil, and the U.K. have hatched a group of chicks in captivity. Once these young birds reach maturity, they will move to the next stage of their conservation program. The Winnipeg Sea Bears season continues, and we want you to be part of the action. The Sea Bears will hit the court against the Scarborough Shooting Stars on June 27th. So if you want to be in the stands, we've got the contest for you. CTV Morning Live is giving away a family pack of 4 tickets to give away to the game. Head over to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and hit our contest page for all the entry details. Don't miss your shot. Here's a look at what's happening on the Provencher Bridge. Things are moving well here. It's a beautiful start to your day. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. Good morning. It is 7 o'clock on Friday, June 20th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for being with us. We're having all kinds of summer fun this morning. The theme of our show is everything summer today. The summer solstice is happening later this evening, but we are celebrating like summer is finally here. And coming up in this next hour, we're going to tell you about the great music that is hitting our city throughout the entire summer, from the Burt Block parties to the Canada Life Centre, even the stadium. There's so many different shows happening. We're going to tell you more about that, but first, your headlines. Glimmer of hope after the flames. Cleanup begins in the Lac du Bonnet area after devastating wildfires. Plus 7 weeks without a trace. Could new incentives help solve the disappearance of 2 Nova Scotia children? And Tuffy the elephant knows how to do summer. He snacks, he splashes, and he wins at beating the heat. And we are going to see some heat today, Terry.
Yeah, we certainly will. Today and tomorrow, kicking off this summer season in style. 17 degrees is where we begin right now, which puts us well above seasonal to begin the day. You can see there are some heavier clouds hanging around out there this morning, and when I show you the satellite image, you'll see just how active those clouds are. East-southeast winds 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 83%. And yes, looking at the satellite image, you can see all sorts of activity just to the north of us, even a little bit to the south of us. Not a whole lot happening right now in Winnipeg, and maybe not. In fact, what we're going to be seeing over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours could be happening in a lot of places near us, and maybe not quite in Winnipeg. So there you can see those morning scattered precipitation, and then some moderate clouds through the day. Not so heavy of clouds that we won't be enjoying the sunshine or the heat from it, because the temperatures will be above seasonal. Parts of northern Manitoba, especially up into the northeast, will also likely get a bit of precipitation. So that's for today. And then tonight, starting to see a bit more of that activity, especially moving through the southwest and into central Manitoba. A lot more lingering south of that international line there, and into the northeast, still a little bit of that. Moving into east central Manitoba, again, still moderate clouds that we're going to be seeing. Here's the next round of precipitation, and this one taking us later into the afternoon on Saturday, moving up along this western border, northwestern Manitoba. And again, all throughout, the possibility is there that we see a shower or a thunderstorm, but it does look like areas surrounding us will probably see a little more activity than we will. We'll get the heat over the next couple of days, and then better chance of that precipitation on Sunday with some cooler temperatures to go along with it. And this rhino all decked out in summer colors. Thank you, Para. You've done a beautiful job coloring this picture for us, and we would love to see your art. So please send it to us. Take a picture and email us winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Glimmers of hope are emerging among the ash and rubble in the Lac du Bonnet area for the first time in a month. Our cameras returned to the hard-hit Wendigo Road area to see firsthand the cleanup underway following a deadly wildfire. CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows us what's changed in the weeks since the fire.
We thought it would have melted. I did lose my wedding rings, but they found that ring. That was really significant.
Erin Sleva Banville and her husband lost nearly everything in the devastating May wildfire. So when a volunteer cleanup crew found a ring in the rubble of their home, she said it was a miracle. But even more than that, the team's hard work made all the difference.
You can see what they did. It was a tremendous savior to us.
Christian Aid Ministries Canada showed up for the couple and their neighbors without even being asked. The nonprofit organization has 4 rapid response teams across the country, pressed into service where they are needed.
It's a very small thing we could do to help them on to the next step, you know, and give some hope and encouragement in their life.
And help the Wendigo Road residents they did. This was the scene back in May, just after the fire ripped through the community. And here it is this week. As Brad Wood says, the rapid response team cleared away hundreds of pounds of scrap.
It's been an insurmountable task, and the gratitude by the community is just unbelievable for what they've done.
Wood says they expected more help from the RM of Lac du Bonnet, and on top of losing everything, felt neglected before the ministry stepped in.
I felt that we were left out by this, and we were just very fortunate for the ministry's help.
Lauren Schinkel, Reeve for the RM of Lac du Bonnet, said the RM is applying for money for recovery. The RM has hired a contractor to remove hundreds of burnt trees, but it will all take time.
There's all of these moving parts here, and we just ask for some patience, too, from the residents.
He said insurance companies advised the RM to take a step back in the immediate remediation based on secondary health risks that may need special care.
This was purely an environmental issue where there was information received from the insurance companies who have specialists that need to deal with this type of a remediation.
Sleva Banville said now it feels like they are a community again.
The neighbors have really rallied, and we've all kind of come together, and it will be a new beginning for everybody.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Lac du Bonnet.
Residents say they are waiting on insurance claims, permits to rebuild, and more trees to be cleared. They say hydro is restored, but crews are still working in the area. Residents of Flin Flon could start returning home next week as officials there prepare to lift a mandatory evacuation order. Deputy Mayor Allison Dallas Funk says the city plans to lift the order on Wednesday, June 25th, almost 1 month to the day that its 5,000 residents were forced out by a massive wildfire. She says most critical services and businesses, including power, gas, and limited health care, will be ready to go starting Sunday. Further north, the town of Lynn Lake says its 600 residents who fled a little more than a month ago could start coming home today. A reward is now being offered up for information about the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan in Nova Scotia.
Investigators are looking at every avenue, and we're using every tool possible. And this is simply another avenue that could shed some more light or information to come forward.
The 2 children have been added to Nova Scotia's Rewards for Major Unsolved Crimes program. This program offers rewards up to $150,000. It's now been 7 weeks since Lily and Jack Sullivan were reported missing. Police say since then they have received more than 500 tips, with 56 people formally interviewed. Indigenous groups and some MPs are accusing the Liberals of trying to undermine environmental protections and treaty rights as they push ahead with Bill C-5.
It's nowhere near enough. I really believe that this country can get this right if they just took the time.
Bill C-5 is designed to speed up so-called nation-building projects by giving more power to cabinet. It will also break down interprovincial trade barriers. Prime Minister Mark Carney insists consultations with Indigenous groups on major projects will be central to what they're pushing through Parliament. The bill is on track to pass in the House of Commons today and clear the Senate in a week's time, a few days ahead of Carney's self-imposed Canada Day deadline. Canada will adjust its U.S. steel and aluminum counter tariffs on July 21st. Whether they go up or down depends on progress of trade talks.
We're going to adjust them to levels consistent with the progress that's made at that point on the broader trading arrangements with the United States.
July 21st also happens to be the end of that 30-day trade deal window. Canada and the U.S. agreed to at this week's G7 summit. Right now, Canada has a 25% tariff in place for U.S. steel and aluminum. Our producers currently face a 50% tariff from the U.S. In another move aimed at stabilizing the industry, Ottawa is planning to impose a steel import limit on countries without a trade deal with Canada. Going over that limit will lead to higher tariffs. Summer weather is in full swing, and what better way to cool off than a sprinkler? This is Tuffy the elephant from the Maryland Zoo. Tuffy strolled to the water cannon to cool off. He also got some snacks tossed towards him at the same time. It's good living. Winnipeg's Animal Services is asking for your help to make life a little easier for dogs in its care.
Good job. Good job.
The agency is planning to create a sensory garden at its facility, replacing the somewhat drab play area it currently has. As the name suggests, it means adding turf, flowers, play structures, and anything with rich scents or textures to keep the dogs engaged.
In a kennel environment, the dogs are quite stressed out. So anything that we can do to provide a calming, more relaxed environment, that's why things like a garden with lots of smells and calming scents like lavender or chamomile can really bring their stress levels down.
As an added bonus, Animal Services says calmer dogs will have an easier time adjusting once they're adopted. If you have any soil, potted plants, or ideas for how to spruce up the space, you're asked to give them a call. Here's a look now what's happening on McPhillip Street. Things are slowly picking up over here, but overall moving well. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you do see any problems out on the streets, though, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about a special breakfast that's kicking off National Indigenous Peoples Day, which of course is tomorrow, and it's called Hey Cousin. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Good morning, Manitoba. Don't you just love that name? It's already starting to kind of fill up with organizers, but we're going to be chatting with them throughout the morning as it kicks off at 9 a.m. running through noon. Tons of community partnerships and agencies. We just spoke with Manitoba Moon Voices. Coming up at 7:27, we're going to be chatting with the Women's Health Clinic about Cookum's Circle, which is allowing to bridge the gap between healthcare and Indigenous women's healthcare to support their specific cultural needs. There's going to be entertainment too. We want to celebrate and elevate our Indigenous peoples here at Manitoba, including Inuit throat singers. There's a few of them. Lots of other partnerships on the docket, including Bear Clan patrols here, Salvation Army, Broadway Neighborhood Center. We're on their land as well. So I hope people come today. It is absolutely free and welcoming to the entire community.
Oh, it sounds fun. It's a beautiful morning for it too. Thank you, Ainsley. And that lovely weather, will it stick around in time for that breakfast, Terry?
I think it will. I think here in Winnipeg we're really lucking in, whereas other places surrounding us could have slightly dicier weather conditions. And by that I'm talking about the possibility of showers or maybe some thunderstorms. We've been watching on our satellite image areas just to the north of us, but also just to the south of us, with Winnipeg really not seeing much right now, save a few kind of ominous looking clouds, but also beautiful pockets of blue sky and sunshine. So it's a little bit of everything right now, except for the rain. We're not seeing that. We are dealing with these above seasonal temperatures though. 16 degrees, even though that's down from last hour, it's still well above seasonal. 12, a normal low. And the winds have increased slightly now out of the northeast. They're gusting to 31 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, humidity at 91%. And at the moment, the sun is just tucked behind some darker looking clouds, but those clouds really haven't been bringing much in the way of precipitation, not in Winnipeg anyway. So I've been keeping an eye on the flowers and watering them myself, and you might want to do the same. Though there is that chance of showers or thunderstorms, it really is just a chance here in Winnipeg. But not necessarily today, more of a mix of sun and cloud and some heat today with high 20s expected. But overnight and through tomorrow, chance of showers and thunderstorms. Other parts of the province might see a better chance of that activity. Sunday, more likely to get some rain, and with it, some cooler temperatures. Well, it'll actually stick around for a couple of days next week before the heat gets cranked up again.
CTV Morning Live Weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
It's time now to check in on our question of the day. We want to know, what's your favorite part of summer? Our question of the day has moved from Twitter, so now we want you to text your answer along with your name to 10400 and make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether they're dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca. And then catch us every Thursday between 6 and 9 to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this. Good morning. It is 7:15. At least one person is dead and at least 3 others are injured after a rock slide at Banff National Park. It happened around 1 p.m. Thursday at Bow Glacier Falls. That's about 2 hours west of Calgary and about 37 kilometers north of Lake Louise. The rock slide lasted for at least a minute as it tumbled towards Bow Lake. Banff National Park remains open, though Bow Lake is closed to all visitors. Parks Canada and the RCMP say their search for survivors will resume at first light and that anyone missing a loved one should call Parks Canada Banff Dispatch. A St. Vital Park has been transformed into an outdoor classroom.
It's a fantastic use in bringing life back to this park.
The Louise Johnston Outdoor Classroom is named after a former school trustee who served the area for more than 3 decades. The space includes sitting areas among the grass and trees where students from the nearby school can learn about the land, environment, and more.
This little forest has become so much more than just a place to explore. It's become a living classroom, a space where science, storytelling, art, and the real-world connections come to life under open skies.
The project was spearheaded by a teacher at Dr. D.W. Penner School who regularly uses it for learning outside her classroom. It seems there's a lot of excitement for this year's Folk Festival, and organizers are warning tickets are selling fast.
I've been playing out a lot of hypotheticals in my mind.
That's Lake Street Dive, just one of the dozens of bands and performers you can expect to see over the 4-day festival next month. It should come as no surprise with the Winnipeg Folk Festival celebrating 50 years this summer. The festival is now issuing a low ticket alert for 4-day passes and says for the first time ever, they're preparing to potentially sell out of tickets ahead of the actual festival. With that in mind, it's also warning people to be aware of unscrupulous resellers offering tickets online. Folkfest runs July 10th to the 13th. Find tickets at winnipegfolkfestival.ca. Here's a look at what's happening at Kenaston and Sterling Lion. As you can see here, traffic volumes are slowly picking up in this area, but overall no issues to tell you about, no delays or stalls to tell you about. If you see any problems out there though, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
In entertainment, it's university graduation season, and at one convocation, Steve Carell burst out into dance.
That was as invigorating as it was disturbing. Wow, am I out of shape. Time now.
Carell took that dance break in the middle of his commencement speech at Northwestern University. There were also a few serious moments when he encouraged the graduating class to remember the little things and to take advantage of how guilty their parents feel about the current state of the world. And he wasn't the only one dancing through graduation.
Remember this feeling. Carry it and care for it, and then give it to others. Thank you. Who wants to dance with me? Let's go!
Sandra Oh ended her speech to Dartmouth's class of 2025 by telling them that when the world gets hard or when it's good, always make the time to dance it out. got an honorary doctorate from the university, and O says she can actually call herself a doctor now. Russell Crowe is crossing another province off his travel list. This time he went to the East Coast to catch up with an old friend.
It's payday! Nothing's gonna stop the sun from shining, and nothing's gonna stop this beautiful day. Well, the weather might be wicked.
That's Alan Doyle. Doyle currently stars in The Telltale Harbor in Charlottetown, PEI. Crowe attended the show. Both Doyle and Crowe starred in the 2010 film Robin Hood. So far, Crowe has visited 7 provinces. And in case you're wondering, Crowe's visited Manitoba. In fact, according to IMDb, Crowe starred in the film For the Moment, which was shot in rural Manitoba in the early 1990s. Start your weekend right with Celebrity Jeopardy at 7. Then things get intense with Fear Thy Neighbor. Cap it all off with E-Talk at 10:30 only on CTV. And I'm going to be dancing all night tonight. That's what my girlfriend wants to do, and that's what she's getting.
What a brilliant plan for it. And the Cube down this time of year, like it's the Jazz Festival?
Yes, exactly.
It is such a good time. So, you know, I just might even just crash your party down there, honestly. It does, like, what a great place to find yourself on a Friday night, first night of summer, and the kind of heat that we're going to be feeling, well, the kind of heat you're going to be feeling as you're kicking up your heels. But looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye, Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years, you can see that there are a few extra clouds hanging around, but even with those extra clouds, we've still got these above seasonal temperatures. So 12 degrees would be a normal low, and even though we dipped this past hour, we were at 17, back to 16 now, still, it keeps us above what is normal for this time of year. And even Melita, who was at 12 degrees last hour, has bumped up now to 14, and we've got Morton Winkler coming in at 19 degrees, so the place is already starting to heat up, and that includes northern Manitoba, double digits through most of the area. Churchill still in the single digits, but 6 degrees for that part of the province. Not a bad temperature to be starting with. Now, we have been keeping an eye on some activity as far as showers and thunderstorms cutting right through central Manitoba. A lot of that activity moving now through east central Manitoba. Again, lightning strikes not ideal, especially with the dry conditions, but rain we welcome. And off and on over the weekend, we'll probably be seeing some of that precipitation, at least areas surrounding us. Maybe less likely in Winnipeg, but we can keep our fingers crossed. We could use some as well. 17 expected into the 8 o'clock hour, 26 by the time kids are coming back home from school today. And that's not even our hottest temperature. Likely to rise another couple degrees, hitting up to 28 and then 27 for tomorrow, with a chance of showers and thunderstorms both overnight and through tomorrow, but a better chance that it'll come with the cooler temps on Sunday. And from there, cooler temps only lasting a couple of days before you see the mercury is on the rise again. And an incredible capture of this pelican in flight out in Lockport. Thanks to Irvin for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live School Day Forecast is brought to you by Rainbow Stage, your season to sing.
The Winnipeg Folk Festival is celebrating a milestone this summer, and we want you to have the whole experience. Folk Fest is 50 in 2025. As always, it will feature music, workshops, and a whole lot more. And you can be there to make memories of your own. We're giving away tickets for the entire weekend, plus quiet camping for you and 3 friends. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and tell us your favorite memory, whether it's from the first festival or the 49th, and maybe share a pic or 2 with us as well. Good luck. Time now for this week's Adorable Adoptables. We begin with sweet little Kea. At just 11 weeks old, she's bursting with curiosity and full of love. This fur ball can't wait to start her forever adventure, and she's hoping that adventure includes you. Next up is Sunny, a fun-loving 7-year-old who adores the outdoors and belly rubs. She's playful, curious, and warms up fast. Looking for a ray of sunshine? Sunny's your girl. And meet Samson, a top-notch babysitter who's cared for plenty of kittens at the shelter. This 3.5-year-old sweetheart is ready for his forever family, maybe with a kitten buddy as well. If you think you can offer any of these animals a good home, just head down to the Winnipeg Humane Society or give them a call. The number is there on your screen.
Hello there, Kara Waglin in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. In 4, we take you to the NBA Finals. OKC, Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton makes a steal, though with a no-look feed to Pascal Siakam for a slam. Just a fantastic play on the defensive end, and then a little style from Spicy P for the finish. Halliburton wasn't sure he'd play Game 6 with a calf injury, but he did, and he, along with Siakam and the Pacers, forced a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. They also have claimed your must-see moment from Thursday. All right, and today on TSN Week 3 in the CFL continues. We have the Rough Riders and Argos going head-to-head. That one gets underway at 6 p.m. Central Time. That's all for now from the SportsCenter Newsroom. Have a great day.
TSN Must See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years.
The Broadway Neighborhood Center is putting on an event to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. It's called Hey Cousin. It's a breakfast. Stay with us for more. Hey Cousin is happening today. It's a real community gathering. Good morning, Ainsley.
We're at the Broadway Community Center, Rochelle, and I didn't think we'd be getting our skates on. Well, at least Jeannie Whitebird is the ambassador for the Women's Health Clinic, but it's just one component of the event today, kicking off at 9 a.m. Tell us about why you brought this, Jeannie.
You know what? I brought the roller skates because last year when we did this for the first time here at this location, they were skateboarding. I was like, okay, I got to try that. So I did try it, and that was so much fun. But this year, I thought, okay, I want to do something different, change it up, and do the roller skates. So I brought my friend along, and so we're going to both be roller skating, and I'm also going to be ambassadoring. So part of it is just inviting and welcoming and being that good welcoming spirit for this beautiful fun day at this great amazing location.
Well, now that people are watching, they can go, hey, it's open till noon. Well, it's open all the time, but I can come alongside them. With the Women's Health Clinic, you have something called Kukum Circle. Tell our audience what that is.
Yes, the Kukum Circle is, there's 4 Kukums, and what we do is we provide a really good presence at the 3 sites with the Women's Health Clinic, and just to be supportive of our relatives, of our friends who are coming in for services, whatever that be, and meeting them where they're at. And also, we also provide support and a presence for leadership. We do that in forms of talking circles, sharing circles, educational, Indigenous educational aspects, and we also go out into the community. So it's a really beautiful, beautiful organization, and that's welcoming that Indigenous grandmother direction and guidance.
The words, it takes a village, is a cliche for a reason. An event like Hey Cousin allows multiple community organizations to come together. Why is that so important, especially from an Indigenous perspective?
Well, you know what? All of our relatives are surrounded. We're all over right here in Winnipeg, and now even more so with the evacuations, you know, from the northern communities. So, you know, it's really important to have that guiding spirit. Some people who we are all familiar with. You know, when I go into in for services, and if I'm in a vulnerable place, I want to be able to have someone to talk to who can relate to me and know where I am coming from. So that's what this day is about. It's also, and it's also about celebrating all of our allies, because so many of our allies, they want to be part of our journey, and we're doing this all together in such a beautiful way. So this is so much fun. Now this is having the fun part of the day. So.
Thank you so much. We're getting started here, 9 a.m. Come on down all the way till noon.
Thank you, Ainsley. It looks like a beautiful start over there where she's standing. It looks gorgeous outside, but there could be some rain in some parts.
Yeah, I mean, Winnipeg, we seem to be experiencing this storm shield effect. We've seen it before in past summers where storms kind of approach the city and then divert to the north and to the south, and that's certainly what we're going to be seeing again when I show you the satellite image in a second. It's 16 degrees with northeast winds gusting to 31 clicks, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 91%. So yeah, what we're seeing right now is everything that was tracking close to Winnipeg and then moved to the north and to the south of us with Winnipeg staying on the drier side. That could be the case throughout the weekend. The possibility is there of some precipitation, but maybe more likely in areas surrounding us. Today, a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 28 degrees, so it will be a warm one with winds that are out of the north this morning, shifting out of the south later on today. Should be on the lighter side, although they're a little bit gusty this morning. And then, of course, that chance of showers or thunderstorms continues overnight, temperature dropping down to 16 degrees. So still with the above seasonal temperatures, we're going to be feeling the heat for the next couple of days, and not just with the overnight lows remaining above seasonal, but the daytime highs pushing up into those high 20s as well. A mix of sun and cloud, that possibility of showers or thunderstorms, it's certainly there. And the humidity, you might be noticing that as well. Northeast winds tomorrow. Slightly cooler temperatures expected Sunday, heavier clouds and some showers. And then from there, cooler temperatures lingering for a couple of days before the middle of the week rolls around, and we're seeing the mercury on the rise again.
Thank you, Terry. Fire crews are at the scene of a house fire in the North Point Douglas area this morning. Just before 5 a.m., firefighters were called to a blaze in the 100 block of Euclid Avenue near Granville Street. Traffic is blocked on Euclid at the scene. Police are asking everyone to avoid the area. CTV News has reached out to the city for more information. The City of Winnipeg has boosted its rates for water and sewer services, and some homeowners say the hikes are making it harder to stay afloat.
I was just flabbergasted, like in shock. Like I couldn't believe it.
In March, City Council approved new sewer and water rate hikes to help fund the $3 billion North Sewage Treatment Plant. And there is a new levy. A $23 per quarter fee was eliminated, but replaced with a higher $63 per quarter waste management fee to pay for services like garbage, recycling, green carts, yard waste, and damaged carts. It's a new utility model to take the heat off property tax bills.
For the waste management, we looked at here's what the cost is. We have contractors who pick up and collect your garbage, and there's all kinds of costs related to it.
The mayor and council previously rejected a proposal to jack water and sewer rates up by $1,000 a year for a family of 4. The school year is winding down, but before it does, educational support workers in the Winnipeg School Division could go on strike. Manitoba Government and General Employees Union members in the division voted in favor of a strike mandate earlier this week. The support workers' last contract expired in July. At issue is classroom violence, fewer resources, and wages, which the union says aren't keeping up with other divisions or with the cost of living. A strike date hasn't been set. A city councillor wants Winnipeg to consider adding extra stop signs on a well-used street in St. Vital. Local councillor Brian Mays has put forward a motion for a traffic study on Desmarons Street between Regal and Blindheim Avenues. It runs parallel to St. Anne's Road near the St. Mary's Road intersection. A memorial for Winnipeg City Councillor Jason Schreier will be held this evening. The service is scheduled for 6 p.m. at St. Alphonsus Church and Hall at 315 Monroe Avenue. CTV News first reported Schreier's death on April 30th. Details on the cause of his death have not been released. Schreier served as councillor for Elmwood East Kildonan since he was first elected in 2014. He was 57 years old at the time. DHL Express Canada has suspended operations across the country as the labor dispute with workers drags on. Deliveries have stopped with a strike and lockout in place and a ban on using replacement workers now in full effect. Earlier this month, DHL says it was rolling out a contingency plan to keep parcels moving as talks for a new contract stalled. The union for 2,100 truck drivers and other workers had warned using replacement workers would add an extra hurdle in negotiations. People in southern Mexico are cleaning up the damage caused by Hurricane Eric. Eric made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane, then became a tropical storm as it moved inland. Landslides, blocked roads, and flooding were reported. The storm was linked to at least 1 death. This morning, officials are keeping an eye on rising rivers caused by rain from Eric's remnants. Crews are also working to restore power after Eric caused outages for more than 120,000 customers. A French artist is using his skills in a whole new way. That's 20-year-old Pierre Louis. He used a rake to create these stunning pictures on France's Atlantic coast. His work is so popular now that he started to accept commissions to do corporate logos on the sand for marketing purposes. Here's a look now at what's happening on Osborne Street. Things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you do see any problems out there, though, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.39, while both the provincial and Winnipeg averages are $1.33 here. The lowest price in the city is $1.19. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
It's a gorgeous start to your day. It's 16 degrees. Some clouds are moving in, but overall feels pretty good out there. We'll be back after this.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
There's a look outside. You can still see those darker looking clouds hanging over us right now. It's 16 degrees with a northeast breeze gusting to 31 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity at 91%. Yeah, a bit more of a breeze right now. Those winds picked up a little bit. We are seeing some storm activity, mostly in areas to the north, a little bit to the south of us as well, but all of that continuously tracking further to the east, where it's coming for you in parts of northwestern Ontario. Now, Winnipeg really hasn't seen a lot of that. Doesn't mean that we won't, but the best chance of a clearer day is most of northern Manitoba. And I say most because there are some places like Churchill and Gillam up in the far northeastern stretch where you might see some precipitation. But otherwise, it will be fairly clear and fairly warm as well. High teens or low to mid 20s expected through most of the north today. Now, moving into the south, this is where we have that better chance of showers or possible thunderstorms developing. And temperature-wise, pretty close to what is normal for this time of year through the southwest, where 24 is in fact a seasonal daytime high. Now we're going to be beyond that seasonal 24, more so into the high 20s for many of us. And while I didn't put the thunderstorm activity in Winnipeg because we are seeing it mostly in areas surrounding us, there's still the possibility that showers or thunderstorms could develop more so overnight into tomorrow, but probably a better chance yet on Sunday here in Winnipeg of seeing the precipitation with some heavier clouds expected. And not only that, some cooler temperatures to wrap up the coming weekend. And from there, those cooler temperatures will continue for a couple of days before the mercury starts to ramp up again. And mid to end of next week, we'll be feeling the heat again.
Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Hey Cousin. It's an event that's happening today to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, which is tomorrow, and we're going to talk about food. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. Oh, well, we can talk about food all you want because there's a free breakfast between 9 and noon. So I hope people come down for Hey Cousin. What would a celebration be, though, without food, without entertainment? Sakeway is providing tons of that. Alan Greyeyes joins me to explain all about it. So when people come by the Broadway Community Center, what can they expect to hear, Alan?
We have a great lineup of entertainment. There's actually a number of partners that put this together, and we're just one of them. And we're here setting up a tent and PA system, so we're going to hear throat singing, going to see some hoop dancing and some other great performances, so it's going to be wonderful.
And the diversity of it, too. There's, like you mentioned, the throat singing and all that. Why is it so important that we encompass all Indigenous peoples here today?
Well, I think like every stage gives us an opportunity to challenge stereotypes, and that's what we're doing. We're showing people Indigenous folks at their best, and so I think that's a big part of making Canada a safer place for all Indigenous people.
And you guys are bringing the music to community. Tell us about what that really means and something that's coming up.
Yeah, we actually have our Sakeway Festival set for June 26, 27, 28, and 29, and so we're kicking it off with an opening concert at West End Cultural Center on Thursday, moving over to Mumaway's site on King Street on Friday, Turtle Island Neighborhood Center on Saturday, and Central Park on Sunday. And so we have a number of great performances, free barbecues, face painting, everything. So encourage people to come on down.
With Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow, the whole point, too, is to elevate Indigenous performers. That's exactly what you're doing. What does it mean to the performers to be able to have this platform?
Well, I think like reconciliation in Canada is about helping people make ends meet. And we do that in the arts by paying professional performance fees. And so I'm a firm believer that access is about also making the artists able to make music their full-time job and not have to just make a decision between feeding their families and furthering their career. So we're doing both with this.
What's the message to community today when the music's going to be loud and you're inviting everyone?
Well, I'm a big fan of Kern Hill Furniture Co-op, so I'm just going to say, come on down.
Nice. Okay. Back to you.
That's great. Thank you, Ainsley. Concerns over rogue artists in South Winnipeg are brewing. Bois des Esprits in South Winnipeg is known for its tree carvings scattered throughout the forest, but some residents are worried the art is getting out of control. As CTV's Harrison Shin reports, they're looking for the city to take action.
Bill McLean loves walking through Bois des Esprits Park.
Every day.
Nice.
Every day.
McLean and his dog Razzie taken the enchanting carvings along this trail, art that has made this 117-acre forest in South Winnipeg so famous.
The ones that we have here are absolutely beautiful. People are in here taking pictures of them, and they're well done.
Many of these carvings were the handiwork of late artist Murray Watson, who had been carving wood spirits into dead trees all over the forest since 2009. But lately, residents like McLean have noticed new carvings popping up in the forest, and it is causing concerns.
There's reason to be concerned if people are coming in and just carving up trees that they shouldn't be.
Royalwood Neighborhood Association board member Corey Crooks says while Watson always used dead trees as his canvas, the new carvings are being cut into live trees, impacting the forest's health.
While it's beautiful, it's starting to impact the safety of walking through the forest. So there's a lot of trees that are dying right next to the path that are a danger to people walking by.
Now the city could be stepping in.
You can't randomly carve your initials into any tree you want, so let's try and get some policy in place on that.
Area Councillor Brian Mace is calling for a report into all tree carving on public property. Right now, the city requires written permission and no new carving is approved in Bois des Esprits. The Neighborhood Association says more education is needed.
I think it's important for people to understand the impact that we have on the environment.
For McLean, he believes something needs to be done.
Yeah, it would be nice to see some control on the carvings, for sure.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Winnipeg Sea Bears season continues, and we want you to be a part of the action. The Sea Bears will hit the court against the Scarborough Shooting Stars on June 27th. So if you want to be in the stands, we've got the contest for you. CTV Morning Live is giving away a family pack of 4 tickets to give away to the game. Head over to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and hit our contest page for all the entry details. Don't miss your shot. It's time for part 1 of Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Congratulations, Madeline, on your grade 12 graduation. Love mom and family in Ebb and Flow. Congratulations, Stanley from OCN, for graduating kindergarten this week. Happy first birthday, Isaiah. Love from all your family. Happy 22nd birthday, Callie, from family and friends. Happy 7th birthday, Sola. Love mommy, daddy, Peyton, Fina, Ash, and Becky. Happy 16th birthday, Deanna, with much love from grandparents Julia and Rod. Happy birthday, Paxton. Love Mimi, Pepe, Mom, Dad, Paisley, and Preston, and Drayden. Happy birthday, Michaela. Love your sister, your mom, dad, and family. Happy 18th birthday and graduation, Spencer, from Mom, Dad, and your family. Happy 10th birthday, Avi, from your family. Happy 39th birthday, Nicole, from your family. And stay tuned to CTV Morning Live as part 2 of Let's Celebrate. We'll be back just before the 8 o'clock hour.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas Shades.
All right, my flowers are looking gorgeous out here. I gave them a drink yesterday. We really didn't get much in the way of precipitation. And honestly, I'm probably going to do it again today. And here's why. I know I'm going to talk about the possibility of showers and thunderstorms, but at this point, it looks like we're mostly seeing that in areas outside of Winnipeg, and we're going to get a lot of heat, and we're about to move into a weekend. My flowers are a little bit of a different scenario because no one's here on the weekend to visit them. So I'll give them a little bit of a top out. We might get some precipitation, as I said, but it is just a chance. 16 degrees. It's already warm out here. Sun shining through those clouds. Northeast winds. They're gusting right now to 31 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising. The humidity sitting at 91%. Oh, sun is coming out from behind those clouds now. Hello. When it does, you can feel the warmth of it immediately. And yes, it's going to be a bit of a hot one today, especially here through the southeast, southwestern Manitoba, closer to seasonal. Normals for this time of year are around 24 degrees, but here in Winnipeg, expecting to top out at about 28, with that chance of showers or thunderstorms all through central and southern Manitoba. Northern Manitoba is going to be a sunny one for you.
The music scene in Winnipeg is heating up this summer. There's a lot of great musical acts happening all over the city, from the Burton Cummings Theatre to the Cube and the Exchange and even the Princess Auto Stadium. Joining us now to tell us more is the Director of Live Entertainment for True North Sports and Entertainment, Ruben Romolero. Good morning, Ruben.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. Now, summer and music, to me, for some reason, they go hand in hand. What is it about the pair and why do they work so well?
You know, I think it's because we only have such a limited time in summer, and to have these great outdoor activities for concerts and listen to music with under the stars is just a fantastic experience. So we've tried to add as much of that as we can this summer.
So the Burt Block parties, always popular. They are really huge this year. Friday is already sold out. Tell us about the Friday show and why it's sold out.
Sure. I mean, Burt Block Party, it's our 5th year. So we're doing 4 nights from August 14th to the 17th. We've got a country night with Dean Brody and Owen Rigling, as well as Haley Benedict and the local artist Brandy Vesna.
Okay.
And then on the Friday, it is currently sold out with Mariana's Trench, Down with Webster, and Fifi Dobson. We're hoping that we'll be able to add some tickets soon, so stay tuned there.
Stay tuned for that.
And then the Saturday, we've got a rockin' night with Glorious Sons, Everclear, and JJ Wild, so a fantastic rock night. And then on Sunday, we wrap it up with Kim Mitchell, Harlequin, local act, and Chilliwack's playing their last show.
And it's really, I've been to the show. It's fascinating how you can see the city skyline. You're listening to live music. Everybody's outside. It's just such a cool vibe, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked really hard to, you know, keep the Burt busy as much as possible, and then to do something outside to like a bigger capacity. You know, we do about 4,000 people outside, so to have that as well as the food trucks and just a lot of fun activities for everyone. It's
Bring
great
your
time.
own lawn chairs.
Yeah, if you want to sit, you can bring your own lawn chairs. We have a certain little section for that as well.
Okay, let's move south in the city now. The stadium, also 2 big shows happening there. Tell us what's going on.
Sure, we're doing the Stadium Thunder Concert Series. It starts July 9th and 10th. We've got the Rock Night for the 9th with headliners Def Leppard, as well as Joan Jett and Foreigner, as well as Toque, who have a bit of a local, you know,
some buzz going on with them, for sure.
So it's a great lineup for rockin' in the stadium. And then on the next night, we have Riley Smith, as well as Tyler Hubbard from Florida Georgia Line, and Madeline Marlowe. So it's going to be a great night of country.
And how are ticket sales going with those 2 shows?
It's great. I mean, you know, these shows are too big for the arena, so it's nice to take advantage of the great stadium that we have. It's, you know, to have all those people out, again, under the stars, listening to some great music.
And the last time the stadium had a concert like this was back in 2017, so it feels good to be able to do that again.
Absolutely. It's something that we've worked really hard on to bring back to Winnipeg and Manitoba. So it's great to have a stadium act, and hopefully we can continue that.
Okay, let's talk about Canada Life Centre. Lots of really exciting things happening there as well this summer.
Yeah, of course. You know, they never stops. So we've got a sold-out Katy Perry show. We've got a sold-out Tate McRae show. So a lot of pop music for everybody. And then, of course, the Sea Bears are playing. They've got their championship this year. So, again, lots of buzz around the arena.
So much fun things to do. If you want tickets, you probably want to get them as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Tickets for everything are available at ticketmaster.ca.
All right. Ruben, thank you for this. Again, if you want to have some summer fun, just go outside and listen to some good music. Thanks, Ruben.
Thanks.
Taking a look outside right now, we're hearing about Hey Cousin. This is also lots of outdoor fun. Someone's skating. Is that Ainsley? No, it's not Ainsley. But they're skating really well. We'll be back after this with more details on Hey Cousin. Stay with us. Summer treats aren't just for us. Some furry friends want to dine in style too. Check this out. What a lucky little guy. This hamster is getting a home-cooked meal of spaghetti, tomatoes, and peas to top it all off. It looks like he's loving every bite. Look at him. Just going for it. Well, it's time now for part 2 of Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy first birthday, Milt, from Mom, Dad, Sister B, and family. Happy 9th birthday, Riley. Love Mom, Dad, Peyton, and Canyon. Happy birthday, Nathaniel. Love Dad, Mom, Grandma, and your family. Happy birthday, Ellie, from Owen, Olivia, Emma, and Mom and Dad. Happy 15th birthday, Yan, from Balbino, Ayana, Sophie, and Denise. Happy birthday, Megan, with love from Rudy. Happy birthday, Dorothy, from your husband Ed and son DJ. Happy 65th birthday, Christine, with love from your family. And a happy 97th birthday to Violet at Glenborough PCH from your family. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's celebrate. Brought to you by Party Stuff, 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Friday. Thank you so much for being with us. We are having some summer fun today. It's the theme of our show. And in the next hour, we're going to talk about some amazing summer wines you'll want to sip throughout the season, as well as some important reminders about what to do to protect your pets during those hot days of summer. But first, your headlines. Slow road to recovery, what residents are finding after a month since a devastating Manitoba wildfire. Fleeing a war zone, how Ottawa plans to assist Canadians looking to leave as tensions escalate. And riding off into the sunset, this Eastern Canadian grad ceremony unfolds with a bit of a Western twist. All right, bringing it to Terry now. It is summer officially just before 10 o'clock this evening.
Yeah.
But it sure feels like it today.
It will, for sure. I mean, already we're dealing with these above seasonal temperatures, 16 degrees to kick off your morning. We do have some darker clouds still lingering in some parts. You can see them as you glance off, but overall, even with those clouds, these temperatures, like I said, are warmer than you would expect, with 12 degrees being a normal low. Northeast winds a little bit gusty, up to 31 clicks right now. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 91%. Those clouds, we've been watching them on the satellite image, bringing some storms, really, showers and thunderstorms in areas through central Manitoba, now pushing off to the east. It's so interesting that it skirted just north of the city, but then is right in line on the other side. And I swear it's just that storm shield effect happening in Winnipeg, because we didn't get any of that precipitation, but it certainly will be falling in areas surrounding us. That chance through central Manitoba, the northeast might see some as well, the very northeast, most of northern Manitoba, mainly sunny or a mix of sun and cloud. A mix of sun and cloud here throughout the day today. That possibility of showers and thunderstorms again picks up into the evening, overnight, and there you can see through central Manitoba. This is midnight tonight that I've stopped at. Central Manitoba, parts of the northeast. We have a chance of getting clipped with that again, but a better chance that it's going to be falling in areas near us. And here's a look at later into the day on Saturday. Up along this western border, moving up through west central Manitoba and even into the northwest, another round of precipitation. We could get a better chance of some rain on Sunday. With that, some slightly cooler temperatures, falling just a little bit below seasonal, 24 being normal, but getting even cooler yet just on the other side of that. And our art today is from 5-year-old Para. Beautiful coloring that you've done, Para, and we would love to see your art. So draw, color, or paint for us. Take a picture of that and send it to us. Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. It's been just over a month since residents were allowed back to the Wendigo Beach to survey the destruction left by a deadly wildfire. The community, which is northeast of Lac du Bonnet, has been left unrecognizable after a wildfire ravaged the area. Now the cleanup is in full swing as thousands of pounds of debris have been gathered and removed.
It's been an insurmountable task, and the gratitude by the community is just unbelievable for what they've done.
Resident Brad Wood says the community expected more help from the RM of Lac du Bonnet. He and others here are grateful for the recovery help provided by Christian Aid Ministries Canada. The nonprofit organization has 4 rapid response teams across the country pressed into service where they are needed. Meanwhile, the RM says the process of recovery takes time.
There's all of these moving parts here, and we just ask for some patience too from the residents.
Lauren Schinkel, Reeve for the RM of Lac du Bonnet, said the RM is applying for money for recovery, and the RM has hired a contractor to remove hundreds of burnt trees. Meanwhile, residents say they are waiting on insurance claims, permits to rebuild, and for more trees to be cleared. They say hydro is restored, but crews are still working in the area. At least 1 person is dead and at least 3 others are injured after a rock slide at Banff National Park. It happened around 1 p.m. Thursday at Bow Glacier Falls. That's about 2 hours west of Calgary and about 37 kilometers north of Lake Louise. The rock slide lasted for at least a minute as it tumbled towards Bow Lake. Banff National Park remains open, though Bow Lake is closed to all visitors. Parks Canada and the RCMP say their search for survivors will resume today and that anyone missing a loved one should call Parks Canada's Banff Dispatch. Ottawa will help bring Canadians home who are fleeing the fighting between Iran and Israel. Ottawa is organizing flights out of airports in neighboring countries. A post from Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says given the airspace is not open, once Canadians have crossed the border into neighboring countries, we have consular services available for them. Canadians could also get help from consular officials stationed on the other side of certain crossings along the borders of Israel and Iran. Ottawa is urging against all travel into Israel and Iran. There were no long faces at this grad ceremony in St. John, New Brunswick.
It felt like it was something I needed to do. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to go out any other way. I was like, there's no way I'm going out there with my horse. It was initially a joke. Then it became a little more serious.
Kenzie Simmons and her horse Blondie have been best friends ever since they said hey to one another. Her mom says school has been difficult for her in recent years, so being able to do this meant the world to her. Kenzie says it was always her dream to ride her horse to collect her diploma, and school principal Jennifer Carhart cared enough to say giddy up. Here's a look now at what's happening on the St. James Bridge. It looks like things are moving well. Overall, traffic volumes are still quite light at this point. If you see any problems out there, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Hey Cousin, which is a breakfast that's happening today. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. In about an hour's time, things will start to fill up with that free breakfast, live entertainment, and multiple community organizations at the Broadway Community Center. Angela Clausen joins me now, and you were saying you're kind of doing double duty today, of course, representing Bear Clan Patrol, but I didn't know this. You're also involved with the Community Center here. I had the privilege of a tour moments ago. The space, I couldn't believe it.
We do some amazing work with the youth here at the Broadway Community Center. You know, it's all about the kids here and keeping them active.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a music space down there. I'm going to have to book that for a live on location. It's incredible. Bear Clan Patrol. Such important work, specifically as it pertains to missing and murdered Indigenous women. Tell me about your role there and what's going on currently.
Well, you know, we have a dedicated Facebook page that we update on the daily, you know, and it's important for people to share our posts and get the word out. And that's basically making the awareness, just keeping people aware and, you know, getting the word out and making sure that these young people and those that are missing are found and brought back to their loved ones.
Speaking of that awareness piece, so many community organizations in support of Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow at the Hey Cousin event. Why is it so key to have everybody gather together?
Well, it's to bring community and culture back. I think that's one of the most important things that we're trying to do here with Hey Cousins is to bring community and culture together and, you know, and getting young people involved. That's what it's about for us. You know, we want to, I just want to throw out there that we had the Kokums from Blue Thunderbird help us with our bannock this year. So big shout out to them. They did a lovely job. And to everybody that organized this event, we've worked hard at it.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And even to bring the spirit together with live performances and even a bite to eat. Back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. For more than 1 million Canadians, they can cause difficulty breathing, facial pain, sleep disturbance, and even the loss of the sense of smell. Those suffering from nasal polyps used to rely on steroids. But as CTV's Pauline Chan tells us, there's now another alternative.
As a child, Renee Lambert recalls having trouble blowing out birthday candles.
I also had problems blowing up balloons, and I never thought about it being asthma.
As an adult, she was diagnosed with asthma and also nasal polyps, benign growths in her sinuses that cause difficulty breathing, sleeping, and even eating. The condition is known as chronic rhinosinusitis with nasal polyps.
So asthma and nasal polyps oftentimes will coexist, so about 40% of the patients with polyps will have asthma.
I was getting migraines, which I never have. And there were a couple of times where my eye blew up as if someone hit me with a baseball bat. And I just couldn't live like this anymore.
Treatment generally includes steroids, both topical and oral, and/or surgery. Renee had surgery, but the polyps returned. Her doctors recommended the common steroid prednisone, but she was concerned about side effects.
Short term, you can have mood disturbances. You can actually have high blood pressure, bumps your blood pressure up. It changes your blood sugar as well, and it also can cause a hip fracture.
It can also cause weight gain, cardiovascular problems, osteoporosis, and diabetes. In fact, a recent study showed 40% of rhinosinusitis patients with polyps face overexposure to oral corticosteroids.
The survey was done by GlaxoSmithKline in conjunction with Asthma Canada.
Dr. Yvonne Chan says newer biologic drugs, available over the past 4 years, offer a safer alternative.
It changes the lining in the nose and the sinuses. What it does is it repairs some of the dysfunction in the lining.
Dr. Chan and Renee both call it a game changer, and they're hoping more patients and physicians will learn more about this option for treating nasal polyps. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Well, the weekend is here, and it's going to be, what is it going to be like? Is it a good day to sip on the patio?
Yeah, hot. It's going to be hot today and tomorrow, and then a little bit of a cool down. So kind of something for everybody. If you don't like the hotter weather, then get out this morning or save it till Sunday, although Sunday you might get soaked. Here's a look right now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In fact, even some places today could be getting soaked. Winnipeg has stayed on the drier side so far this morning, but I'll show you the satellite image in a second and you'll see areas surrounding us that are seeing some of that precipitation. 16 right now in Winnipeg. That'll bump up right away. This map is always a little bit slow. Anyway, some models are already showing that we're at 18 degrees. Certainly in Gimli, warmer yet in the Morden Winkler area, up to 22 degrees, 16 over in Brandon. These temperatures all across southern Manitoba are slightly above seasonal, with 12 being that normal low for this time of year. Moving up into northern Manitoba, and you're now pushing up into the mid-teens, with Churchill still slagging behind at a slightly cooler 5. With that cooler temperature comes the possibility of some showers. The very northeastern part of the province, as well as parts of central and southern Manitoba. We've been watching this activity all morning long. For the most part, it has pushed further off to the east, and that's continuing where it's headed into northwestern Ontario. But we still have the possibility of seeing some of that over the weekend. 17 degrees now as we're sending kids off to school. By the time they're coming home again, 26 expected. And it'll still get even hotter yet into the evening time with 28, our high temperature for today. That chance of showers or thunderstorms will be there overnight and possibly tomorrow, but a better chance that that rain comes on Sunday with a bit of a cool down that'll carry us into the start of next week. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back in just a moment with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live School Day Forecast is brought to you by Rainbow Stage, your season to sing.
Good morning. We're getting a behind-the-scenes look at the aerial battle against the BC wildfires, where there are dozens currently burning out of control. CTV's Andrew Johnson explains how a plane that doesn't actually douse any flames has become one of the most critical.
Before any planes drop water on a wildfire or crews attack flames from the ground, a pilot like Rob Verstraeten gets there first.
We really just have to size up the fire. We have to see what terrain and hazards we have to deal with.
It's a scouting mission in a $10 million state-of-the-art modified reconnaissance plane called a Bird Dog. The BC Wildfire Service has added 2 of them to its firefighting fleet on contract from Conair.
Is far and away the most modern bird dog in the world.
Conair made 13 modifications, including infrared cameras to detect hotspots, advanced weather sensors to spot lightning, and the plane is quick.
The faster you get there, the faster you come up with a plan, the faster you can contain the fire.
The plan involves orchestrating the aerial attack, deciding what to drop on the fire and when, and rehearsing the route those larger planes will take.
Any run that we would like the tanker to do for a drop, we will test it ourselves first, acting as a tanker.
When a wildfire call comes in and it's serious, a 2-person crew can fire up this Bird Dog in only 5 minutes. The air tanker can be filled with a full load of retardant in only a matter of 8 minutes, taking off in 10. The planes are based at the Provincial Wildfire Coordination Center in Kamloops, where 14-hour workdays are common.
What we're noticing is
longer and more severe fire seasons. They start sooner, they go later.
With communities now more often at risk, Verstraeten says pilots learn to compartmentalize, pushing emotions aside to keep their mind on the job. The reward is in the results.
We really get a lot of satisfaction out of keeping people safe and trying to prevent any loss of life or property.
Critical work Canadians will rely on heading into the most dangerous 2 months of the year. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Kamloops, BC.
When the hot days of summer arrive, our palates change when it comes to sipping wines. We look for different flavors and tastes that better suit our patio vibes. And joining us now with some ideas for summer sipping is Raina from the Porium. Good morning, Raina.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, why is it that our palates change when it starts getting hot outside?
Well, I mean, it's lighter, it's brighter, we're spending more time outdoors, and so we want something to quench our thirst.
Okay.
So that's usually when the rosés will come out, the whites will come out, you know, a little bit lighter style reds or barbecue wines.
So something cold usually is what we crave.
I think so, yeah. A little bit more.
Okay, so what makes these, because rosés are, some people might have a misconception that they're sweet, but they're not sweet.
I completely understand that. They're not all sweet. There are still some sweet options, but I have quite a few that are not. I have one from Uruguay that is quite light and bright. French is always quite popular, and then we have a brand new one from Vancouver Island that is pretty neat and funky and like.
Okay. So what we're looking at right now, this beautiful bottle with the face on it, what is that?
So that one is from Uruguay, from Stagnari Vineyards.
Okay.
It is fresh and bright, bone dry, perfect for fish.
Okay.
Or just sipping on your patio.
And it's a beautiful bottle as well. What about this rosé here that I'm looking at up here?
So this is from Vancouver Island. We found that, you know, people are traveling and all sorts of areas in Canada are producing wine. This is the first that we have from the island, and it is delightful. It's tart, it's crisp, it's fresh, it loves, you know, afternoon snackies and all of that sort of stuff.
Ooh, and then this one on top, right beside it?
So French rosés, those have been popular for quite some time. You know, watermelon, fresh strawberries, you know, perfect for by the pool or, you know, sitting on the deck.
Okay, and so these are whites?
So we have our, summer sippers, you know, because we want something a little chilled. Pinot Grigio tends to be very popular. We have the Tanazzi from Italy here. I have our brand new Koha from New Zealand. Those always tend to be very, very sought after. The pink grapefruit that comes out of there.
Oh, I like that. I know. The citrus is kind of nice and so refreshing. Again, is it sweet or is it more on the drier side?
No, it smells like pink grapefruit. Drinks very nice and dry and got a freshness on there.
Okay, and so this, you want it nice and cold.
Nice and cold.
And you want it in a different kind of glass as well, right?
I do. I want it in a thinner glass. Like my rosé and my white will go in a smaller glass because I want to drink it before it gets warm.
Okay.
You know, but when we move into cabs, you know, they're better off in you know,
thicker,
bigger glass.
Right.
You know, because it doesn't need to be chilled. Also, you savor it for a little bit longer in the swirl and everything.
Oh, yeah. So it's okay to sip red wines during the summertime?
Oh, absolutely. Well, red wine lovers love red wine, so no matter what. We have lighter options, different options. What I brought today was cabs that are not from the U.S. You know, we're trying to avoid those a little bit, and we brought in some new products that are sure to please. We have a new Italian one that is a little bit lighter, but it's got all of those juicy flavors. I've got a Cab blend. So this is Cabernet Franc and Cabernet Sauvignon from Niagara.
Cool. Okay, we got to talk about these bottles because we're almost out of time already. What is this?
Okay, I could talk forever. So this here is the brand new wine that we brought in. It is a 100% recycled bottle.
Okay, so look at this, guys.
I don't know if you can get in there.
This is a bag inside.
It is. You know, the bag in the box, you know, that keeps it fresher for longer.
Yeah.
This is 100% recycled cardboard, and when you're done with the bottle, you pop it open, throw it in your recycling.
Wow.
The great thing I like about this is that if you only finish half of it, you can open this up, take some of the air out so it stays fresher for longer.
Thank you, Raina. Again, if you're looking for some of these wines, the Porium on
Portage Avenue.
Portage Avenue.
Yeah, and you can find yourself on a patio today. It might be the perfect place to hang out with the kind of heat that we're coming today and kicking off the summer. 18 degrees, east winds 18 clicks, the pressure rising, the humidity at 81%. To be at 18 degrees already this morning, you know we're in for some heat, and certainly so. Expected to top out in those mid to high 20s here through the southeast, but there is the possibility of some showers, maybe some thunderstorms, and that goes all across southern Manitoba and even central Manitoba today. For northern Manitoba, a little more sunshine for the most part, although right up in the very northeastern part, you could be also seeing some showers today. That chance of showers could be showing up for nearly everyone around the province over the weekend, especially overnight and through tomorrow. In fact, lingering into Sunday, the possibility of precipitation. But Sunday will come with some slightly cooler temperatures after a couple of hot days to kick off the summer season. And then with those cooler temperatures on Sunday and that possible round of precipitation, you're going to notice those slightly cooler temps lingering for a couple of days. So a bit of a break from the heat that we'll feel over the next couple, and that'll come Sunday, Monday, Tuesday before the mercury ramps up again. Really cool shot of this pelican in flight taken in the Lockport area. Thanks to Irvin for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
The Winnipeg Folk Festival is celebrating a milestone this summer, and we want you to have the whole experience. Folk Fest is 50 in 2025. As always, it will feature music, workshops, and a whole lot more. And you could be there to make memories of your own. We're giving away tickets for the entire weekend, plus quiet camping for you and 3 friends. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and tell us your favorite memory, whether it's from the first festival or the 49, and maybe share a pic or 2. Good luck.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
The dog days of summer have arrived, but you don't want your dog or your cat getting too hot. The Winnipeg Humane Society has important reminders for pet owners on how to protect your animal from the heat. Joining us now from the Winnipeg Humane Society's, she's the medical manager there, is Kara Hullett. Good morning, Kara.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, summer is a fun time. Your dogs, your cats, they want to be outside sometimes, but you have to be mindful of the heat. Let's talk about some of the effects the heat could have on your animal. And what are signs of trouble?
Yeah, so animals, their internal temperatures are already warmer than ours, and then they have a harder time cooling off. They don't sweat like we do.
Okay.
So it's important to restrict them because they will overexert themselves. Those dogs want to play fetch and chase the ball, and they don't know when too much is too much.
Okay.
So keeping them cool with lots of water, shade, ventilated areas, and on those hot days, maybe just exercise them in the morning hours and the evening hours and avoid those middle of the day.
And their little paws too can be damaged by those hot pavements when you go for a walk, right?
So just avoid pavement on hot days, and if you're not sure, if you hold the surface of your hand to the pavement for just a couple of seconds, if that's uncomfortable for you, then that's too hot for their paws. So in that case, walk them on the grass.
Okay, and are there booties you could put on their feet to protect them?
There may be some breathable booties available, but I would probably avoid that because then that's how they release their heat, body heat too. So you don't want to keep their paws too hot.
Okay, so grass walking indeed. Okay, let's talk about, you're at the lake, your dog, your cat, whatever, but mainly dogs. They want to go play in the water, and let's say they're drinking that lake water. Should they be drinking that lake water?
Not ideally. I mean, some water is better than none, but ideally provide them with fresh water. There are parasites and diseases in lake water.
And that can make them sick.
That can make them sick, yeah.
Which you don't want.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk
in little amounts it would be okay.
Okay, so bring like a little bowl with you no matter where you go, and make sure you always have some nice,
water.
Cool, fresh water. What about sunscreen? Because we know that we're always told as us humans to, put sunscreen on our faces, our ears, whatever. What about your dog?
Yeah, same thing. They have skin just like us, so they're at risk for sunburn. Of course, they're covered in a layer of fur, so you don't have to worry about that. But any exposed, vulnerable skin on their ear tips, their nose, their eyelids, that's all prone to getting sunburn too, especially the pink noses and the lighter skinned animals.
So what do you do?
There's pet-friendly sunscreen you can actually get. We sell it in our gift shop. It might be available online as well, and you can apply that.
And it's just cream, just like normal sunscreen. And how often should you reapply?
Probably every few hours, depending if they're going swimming or not. But
let's
a couple
talk
times
about
a day.
Hot cars.
Yes.
People are still doing it.
Yes.
If you're bringing your pet out anywhere, don't leave them in a hot car no matter what.
Just don't bring your dog.
Just leave them at home.
Yeah.
What's the danger of being in a hot car?
Well, the second you turn that car off, if it's a hot day, the temperature will rise 5 to 10 degrees within the first 5 minutes.
Wow.
So it's like an oven in there. And you may think it's cool for just for a few minutes, but it can be really dangerous to your dog who can't cool themselves off easily.
And so what do you do then? Just leave them at home, like you said?
Leave them at home. If you have to take them along, you have to figure out a way to leave your air conditioning running while you run inside to do an errand.
Or leave your loved one with the animal so they can hang out with them in the car while you run your errands inside, and so everybody is safe. Ticks. This is tick season. What do you want people to think about?
Heartworm and tick season has begun. There's products you can get that will keep the ticks from biting them. Heartworm season started June 1st, so that people should be on that already. That's once a month treatment for 6 months.
Okay.
But just monitor your animals if they're going in long grass. Check them over, but there's lots of products that will just keep the ticks from biting them and spreading diseases like Lyme disease.
And so it's easy. The ticks don't even want to bite your animal with this product, which is exactly what you want. Any other summer tips for pet owners?
Just provide lots of water. Kiddie pools is a great idea to have available in your yard if you do want to have playtime with your dogs, and then that way they have the option to cool down if they want to jump in the kiddie pools.
Stay in there all day.
Yeah, exactly. And just watch those thicker coated dogs and those dogs we call brachycephalics, so like pugs and shih tzus where their snouts are shorter. Those guys have a hard time breathing. So just watch those dogs and keep them cool.
All right, great advice. And it's going to be a hot summer, so thank you so much for that. It's going to be a hot day today, Terry.
Yeah, it really is, and I love that idea of the kiddie pool. Nice way to stay cool or have that opportunity to cool down. It's 18 degrees right now. Those temperatures are already on the rise with east winds just 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 81%. It's going to be a beautiful hot day today. For those of you that like the heat, this will be your kind of day. Today and tomorrow, we're certainly going to be feeling it. We're also still seeing a little bit of that lingering precipitation. It is tracking further to the east, headed now across that border, but showers, thunderstorms, not just for today and not just for southern Manitoba. Over the course of the weekend, there will be parts of northern Manitoba that will also be in the path of some precipitation. Today, we're probably going to stay on the drier side here in Winnipeg. 28 degrees. I mentioned the heat. That is above seasonal. 24 is normal for this time of year, so a little bit hotter than that. And those winds eventually shifting out of the south to 15 kilometers per hour. And then tonight, that chance of showers or thunderstorms, although again, it's more so in areas surrounding us, a slimmer chance in Winnipeg, but the possibility is there. Dropping down to 16 degrees, still keeping us above seasonal, with 12 degrees being that normal overnight low and 24 a normal daytime high. So tomorrow, still feeling the heat again. I'll mention again that possibility of showers or thunderstorms. Slightly stronger winds are expected for tomorrow out of the northeast, up to 30 kilometers per hour. Now, our best chance of precipitation will be rolling through on Sunday. With it will come some heavier clouds and some slightly cooler temperatures that are actually going to linger for a couple of days into the start of next week. But it's only a matter of time. By the middle of the week, mercury on the rise, and it's going to get hot by the end of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Traffic is disrupted due to a house fire in the North Point Douglas area this morning. Just before 5 a.m., firefighters were called to a blaze in the 100 block of Euclid Avenue near Granville Street. They're still on scene as of now. Traffic is blocked on Euclid at the scene. Police are asking everyone to avoid the area. CTV News has reached out to the city for more information. Residents of Flin Flon could start returning home next week as officials there prepare to lift a mandatory evacuation order. Deputy Mayor Alison Dallas-Funk says the city plans to lift the order on Wednesday, June 25th, almost 1 month to the day that its 5,000 residents were forced out by a massive wildfire. She says most critical services and businesses, including power, gas, and limited health care, will be ready to go starting Sunday. And as of just half an hour ago, the mandatory evacuation orders for Lynn Lake and Marcel Colombe First Nation have ended. Residents of both communities are now being allowed to return, though they are cautioned to be ready to leave again if conditions warrant. The province is beginning to decommission most congregate shelters in Winnipeg, which temporarily housed wildfire evacuees.
We have been able to find hotels for evacuees, and in Winnipeg, no one is staying at the congregate shelter any longer.
Infrastructure Minister Lisa Naylor says Leela Soccer Complex will remain operational in the event more communities are evacuated. She adds there's still a congregate shelter in Thompson, which is housing around 114 people. 14 communities are still under evacuation orders, and officials say plans are underway to start sending even more people home. But there are a few things that need to happen first.
This includes ensuring that medical staff are able to return to the community, that hydro is up and running, that law enforcement has been able to be reestablished, and that schools are cleaned and ready to receive students. Beyond that, grocery stores need to be restocked and gas stations need to be opened. Water treatment plants need to be up and running, and EMS and fire need to be reestablished in the community.
The number of active wildfires remains unchanged at 21, with 7 burning out of control. Officials caution they are expecting lightning strikes to spark more in the near future. Today is the official start of summer, and with it comes a busy travel season, but the cost of flying can be expensive. CTV's Abigail Beeman with what the Competition Bureau is saying about how to change that.
I actually just flew in from Vancouver yesterday, flying back now, and my flight was almost $1,000 to Calgary, so that is crazy to me.
If you've bemoaned that it's cheaper to fly to Europe than visit family in Canada, you're not alone. A new report from the Competition Bureau found that's a common complaint, along with limited options, high prices, and bad service. Also not surprising, the ownership snapshot in 2023, with Air Canada and WestJet holding the majority of market share. And contributing to high ticket prices, user fees accounting for 30 cents of every dollar.
If we can pull those fees out, it gives a lot of room for margin for even these discount players to expand more than they have been already.
The report makes 10 recommendations to fix the problems, calling on the government to prioritize competition in policy, support northern and remote access, and leverage international capital and experience. That means allowing foreign-owned carriers to fly domestic routes and getting rid of restrictions on foreign ownership.
We are focused on competition and measures to increase competition for the Canadian marketplace. And unquestionably, foreign investment plays a key role here.
You're opening up Pandora's box.
Some are concerned foreign carriers would harm the market by only going after high traffic routes, leaving smaller communities underserviced.
Don't expect to see, a United Airlines showing up in Yarmouth or a Singapore Airlines showing up in North Bay. Not going to happen.
Transportation Minister Chrystia Freeland's office tells CTV News they're reviewing the report carefully and acknowledge Canadians want more affordable air travel, but won't say whether they're considering making changes to foreign ownership rules.
Here's a look now what's happening on the Donald Street. It looks like things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you do see any problems out there, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.39, while both the provincial and Winnipeg averages are $1.33. The lowest price in the city is $1.19. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Let's check in now on the responses to our question of the day. We wanted to know what's your favorite part of summer. And these are some of your responses. Our question of the day has actually moved from Twitter, so now we want you to text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live this morning at a wonderful community breakfast. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Hey Cousin is in preview of Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow. Shelly Anderson joins me once again with Manitoba Moon Voices, one of 13 local organizations on site. It officially starts in about 25 minutes time, but what can people expect this morning, Shelly?
Yeah, so like you said, we're starting at 9 a.m. and then we're going to start off with a pipe ceremony with some of our elders here smoking the pipe, and then we're going to be having some singers, some Indigenous performers singing Inuit throat singing singers, like we said, yeah.
And then that's a new component. Last year you had a comedian, so really trying to elevate Indigenous voices. Folks here are just also kind of hanging out, enjoying the morning. Tell me about some of the organizations. I won't ask you to list all 13 of them, but why is that collaboration so key?
Yeah, so it's really important to include, and a part of reconciliation is coming together, because this isn't just Indigenous organizations coming together, it's non-Indigenous organizations together, so that's just a big part of reconciliation, us coming together, you know, and including everybody.
And non-Indigenous people, of course, welcome as well. How important is that to, within the inclusiveness, educate?
Yeah, no, it's really important because, you know, we're all living in the same Turtle Island, so it's important to come together, and reconciliation always plays a big part in that, and it's just important to include everybody.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm asking an obvious question there then. Of course, Manitoba Moon Voices, you guys are female-led, Indigenous female-led, I should say. Tell us about your group.
Yeah, so we support our Indigenous women, Two-Spirit, gender-diverse relatives, so that's also important that we're including them in the ceremony today. We have the Kind Heart Women singers coming, and they're a Two-Spirit group, so it's always just important to include that and our Indigenous women, because lots of the times our Indigenous women aren't a part of these conversations, and they really need to be.
And in terms of the organization, too, there's programming. Dig a little deeper into what participants can expect.
Yeah, so this summer we'll be going to Thompson, the Paw, and Brandon and doing some community engagements just to get some feedback for our organization and yeah, just how we can support our relatives.
Thank you so much, Shelley. Hey Cousin is the name of the event, kicking off at 9 a.m. The party's already getting started with maybe a coffee or a breakfast. It's running until noon.
And lots of sunshine to enjoy while you're there, too. Thank you, Ainsley. And, oh, how are the flowers, Terry?
Well, I said I was going to give them a drink before the weekend because it's going to be hot and dry. Yes. Well, I keep saying there's that chance of showers and thunderstorms, but so far, every time we've watched a system get to Winnipeg, the storm shield seems to take effect, and it diverts to the north and to the south. So I don't want to risk my little beauties this weekend. And it certainly is going to be hot. I'm already feeling it today, my goodness. Now that the sun is out from behind those clouds, 18 degrees and it's warm. East winds are 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 81%. And yeah, some sunshine today, or a mix of sun and cloud. Southern Manitoba, that possibility of storms we were watching in areas just to the north of us. Most of that activity now tracking off to the east. So northwestern Ontario, brace yourself. You're right in the path of some showers and some thunderstorms this morning. Northern Manitoba, for the most part, it'll be clear. The very northeast, up around Churchill, Gillam, you might see some precipitation, but most of northern Manitoba, sunshine for today, or at least mainly sunny conditions. And low to mid-20 temperatures, mid-20s in the southwest today. You might be seeing more of that precipitation into the evening overnight. We have that chance here in Winnipeg, but the temperatures will be a little bit hotter in the southeast. High 20s expected both today and tomorrow. And then Sunday, with some heavier clouds and maybe another round of precipitation, some slightly cooler temperatures as we're wrapping up the weekend, and those temps will continue right into the start of next week. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more on CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, where size does matter.
Good morning, it's 8:44. He walked into a convenience store wanting a cold drink and walked out with a winning lotto ticket. A Vancouver man is now $40 million richer and can now buy all the cold drinks he wants. Here's CTV's Ben Nesbitt.
Daniel Chow bought a lottery ticket on a whim, a choice that will forever change his life.
Is it real or am I dreaming?
Chow, a Vancouver resident in his early 30s, had just finished a run at Burnaby Central Park on May 23rd when he went to a nearby 7-Eleven to buy a can of sparkling water.
When I'm about to check out, I'm just look at all the lotto numbers, and I was like, something really pushed me to buy that ticket.
Admittedly a forgetful person, Chow left the ticket sitting at the bottom of his backpack for weeks. It was only when he reached in to grab a cough drop when he remembered it was there.
When I scan it and when I see the number, I like literally drop my phone. I'm like, how many zero number was that? Like I never seen that many zero in my life.
Since then, he has kept his big win a secret, only telling his partner. He hopes to surprise his family with the news. Chow's windfall comes just more than a month after a Surrey man won a record-breaking $80 million jackpot.
I'm an immigrant. I came from a poor country. Like, this money's a lot, right? Like.
As for Chow, he plans to buy his parents a home. For himself, he says he's got a bucket list of travel destinations and hopes to give back to the community.
This might be a life-changing experience to me, and I want to use a part of it to change other people's lives as well.
Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Vancouver.
Picture this. You're walking on the beach, you find a good spot, you set up your umbrella and chair, and then you crack open a brand new book. For some, having a good read can really spell relaxation and joy in the summer. Joining us now with ideas on some really great summer reads for you are the Winnipeg Public Library's Aileen Clear and Amber Lambou with the Public Library Services for Youth and Families. Good morning to both of you. Good
morning.
Thank you so much. Now, I'm a total book nerd, so that scenario, walking on the beach, putting up the umbrella and cracking open that book, that's really my summertime fantasy. What is it about summertime, having a nice beach read? What is it about that?
I think it's just a way to relax, escape in a book, whether you like romance, mystery, thrillers, those are all the popular ones, or you're wanting to delve deep into a literary novel. We have books for everyone.
It's really like an escape, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Escape into someone else's life. Okay, so we are talking about some of the books that are really popular this year. Some of the books you might want to bring on the beach if you're doing that, or even just reading on your back deck. You brought 3 books here. Tell us a little bit about what you brought here.
Yeah, so we have A Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. She's a popular romance author. She actually wrote a book called Beach Reads.
Oh.
Yeah, and
I think I know that one. I think.
Yeah, she's written a lot of great summer reading novels. So if you want to sit back and delve into a lovely romance about 2 writers vying for recluses to write their memoir, that's the book for you.
Oh, it sounds lovely, and it's a nice big book, so it'll take you a while to get through it.
Yes.
Now, it's funny, The Wedding People, this is the second book I just bought this book days ago, and I'm excited to read about it. It's getting a lot of buzz, isn't it?
Yeah, it was also a read with Jenna pick, so those usually tend to get those book clubs, and that tend to be a lot more popular.
Okay.
So yeah, that one is more not so much romance, but fiction novel about a girl that shows up at an inn where it's mostly a wedding party, and she has contact and forms a relationship with the bride, and she has to learn to get over her previous fiance, and that. So it has humor in it, but also delves into a bit maybe more deeper topics.
And it's really gripping from what I understand.
Yes.
That's why I couldn't help myself but buy it. Okay, Death on the Island is the next read that you're going to tell us about.
Yeah, this is a mix, they say, kind of between Agatha Christie and a Nordic noir. And then there were none kind of plot where people are stuck on an island, one of them dies, and they have to figure out who did this.
These are amazing because at the back of these books, you can't see, there are little sticky notes, and it shows how many holds there are on these books, which just speaks to the popularity of these books and the buzz around them. So A Great Big Beautiful Life has 367 holds.
Yes, yeah. Wedding People has 344, and Death on the Island has 316.
Look at that, little cheap notes that's giving us your secrets here.
Yeah.
But this really speaks to how popular they are and how many people really want to get their hands on these books.
Yeah, and the great thing is you can come request them, and staff can also help you find a current book that's available right away that would also interest you while you wait for these to come in.
Okay, so adults, of course, can read, but you want your kids to continue reading throughout the summer months because it's so important they keep those books in their hand. Why is that important?
It's important just to prevent that summer slide. So a lot of children will, end their school year in June, and then if they're busy with summer activities, they're not picking up a book again until September. And we see that regression in their reading levels. So it's important to keep them reading, keep them engaged. And part of what we do to maintain that is our TD Summer Reading Club for kids 0 to 12. We have a reading tracker for kids 0 to 5 for the pre-readers, and then a kit for the older kids as well, and our reading tracker where they can check off that they've done their reading. So for every 5 days of reading, they get a ballot and they get entered to win a prize.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
All right.
We've got exciting prizes, and then we have something for the teens as well. We can't forget the teens. We've got a challenge card. So for every challenge they complete, they get a ballot as well.
So mom and dad, take them to the library where the books are free and they can definitely keep reading. Thank you so much to both of you for sharing this with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, intrigued by some of those books. They look good. All right. 18 degrees outside right now. East winds 18 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 81%. It's looking good. It's feeling good. Sun coming out from behind those clouds and starting to feel the warmth of it all. Those clouds were hanging around this morning as that precipitation passed just to the north of us. There's still a little bit lingering, but you can see the bulk of it has pushed off to the east, and that's where it's headed. Next is northwestern Ontario. A little bit could fall through parts of the northeast today. Slightly cooler in Churchill than the rest of the province, but still up to 12 degrees. That's not a bad day for you. Gillam will get up into the high teens, and the rest of the north with clearer conditions. Low to mid 20s are expected. Mainly sunny conditions for today, although you could be in for a round of precipitation overnight and into tomorrow. As is the rest of southern Manitoba, that possibility there of some showers or some thunderstorms. Again, the more likelihood is that it's going to come into the evening overnight. And mid-20s here through the southwestern part of the province is very close to a seasonal daytime high of about 24 degrees. Southeastern Manitoba, a couple beyond that. We're headed up into the high 20s today. Again, that chance of the showers, maybe the thunderstorms, although anything that's been approaching Winnipeg seems to be diverting, moving around, and even closing in again on the other side as it pushes off to the east. So I did just water my flowers up on the rooftop. They're going to go for a couple of days, and it's going to be hot for a couple of days. Today and tomorrow, above seasonal temperatures before we're in for a little bit of a cool down on Sunday. That cool down Sunday could come with another round of precipitation. I've been saying the chances there over the next couple of days, but a better chance yet on Sunday that rain moves through and brings in some slightly cooler temperatures, at least for a couple of days. So Monday, Tuesday, still a little bit below seasonal, but by Wednesday, we're back up to what you would expect this time of year, and we continue to soar throughout the end of next week. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, it's the first day of summer and it's Friday, so we're going to send you off with some fun video. First off, here's a friendly photo bomb. Oh, hello. This puffer fish was at the right place at the right time for this diver. Watch it as it swims to the camera, looks directly at it with its adorable little face and smile. The deep sea diver won an award and cold hard cash with this video of the close encounter of the cutest kind. Look at that little face. So sweet.
That
looks
is cute.
happy, that fish. And finally, a mini meal made with love. This lucky little guy, this hamster is getting a home-cooked meal of spaghetti, tomatoes, and peas. And it looks like he's loving every bite of it. Look at his little hands. Just loves his little hands.
His little cheeks are getting stuffed full.
Look at that. Aw. And then he slurps it all up.
Yeah, cutie.
That does it for us. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Monday.